So yeah, let's kick it off. What do we start with? I guess the drive is the first thing to start with any LARP story. So we left here around 6? Yeah, around 6 p.m. For the trip. This was our first game at the new winter site, or not new winter site. We've been there before, but the winter site. And the trip up there is about 5 or 6 hours, depending on weather.
And I wasn't sure because I'm hitting I have a gigantic deadline on this coming Wednesday at work, so I wasn't sure if on Friday I'd be like, I haven't got enough work done. I can't.
Gotta stay late. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't know when we get going, but we got going at 6, and we didn't have to pack the big tent or anything because there's cabins and heated spaces at the winter site because otherwise we'd die. Yeah. Literally.
Minus 25 this weekend.
It was fucking cold. Was it really minus 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
All right. I thought we were still in shallow.
No.
winter,
Well, that was the low overnight kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. And when we say that, we mean in Celsius. By the way, all you American dorks. We use a measurement system that makes sense and isn't stupid. So. All right. You gotta stir the pot, at the beginning. Really incense people.
Yeah, be like, call us out in the YouTube comments below.
Yeah, exactly. Shit talk us in the YouTube comments. But anyway, we made the trip. We stopped in some towns along the way.
Yeah.
To grab, Tim Hortons tea and coffee and fuel the trip.
Yeah.
Siobhan and Scott shifted off the drive because 5 hours is a long time for anyone, so they sort of took it in turns. Mm-hmm. I can't drive, so I sat in the back and was very encouraging.
The encouraging gremlin.
Yeah. Master DJ.
Well, and I played the music. Yeah. That was my move. But so we made the trip. It's weird doing LARP stuff and those kind of trips in winter because it is dark when we leave, and it is dark for 5 hours of driving, and then it is dark when we get there. The other thing is that we're going to Saskatchewan, so the time there's an hour time difference.
Oh yeah.
So we sort of we jump another hour ahead. So we're we're gonna get there by midnight. We're gonna get there. It's gonna be fun. It's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Boom, straight ahead. Anyway, so we got there, and then it was unpack time. And it didn't take us very long to do that at all.
Yeah.
And we were out of character in the cabin.
Unfortunately, we arrived just after game started.
Yeah, game.
After?
Yeah,
it was just
game
after.
game had just started.
Yeah.
A moment ago.
We didn't miss a huge amount.
Well, what we did miss though was
unexpected visitors.
Yeah. It was on the way out, we saw. I ran to Plot Camp to kind of see, hey, well, we're here, where do we go log, all this other stuff, and I see, a whole swab of undead and jackal markings head out the door, and I'm like,
No! We want to kill those guys. But so we're out of game, and we're getting ready in the cabin, putting our makeup on, and costuming and stuff. Tragically, our makeup had exploded on the way up. So we had to use Scott's palette instead, which worked out pretty well. Yeah. But also
it's good stuff.
I lament the loss of the alcohol makeup.
There was that much left.
Yeah, but I lament the loss of the remaining that much. We'll order some more. It's fine. But so while we were getting ready, there was a knock on the door. And there's a little bit of confusion as to who was in or out of game while we were in that building.
Because the Ursa guy was in game.
He was in game, but then he was like trying to ask us stuff while we were like getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like instead of just dealing with it at the door.
Yeah.
So the like 8 NPCs that came to our door were
Yeah.
like,
So there's 8 undead NPCs standing outside the door, and they're like, "We're looking for the Vespin or whatever."
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah,
and you just see us going like from our makeup going like,
yeah.
what?
we're all out of game, and there's like a big confusion at the door. So I walked over and I was like, "We're all out of game. Like I can't help you."
Yeah, it's like we don't have our character sheets
Like,
yet.
I haven't paid to play this game yet, so I
Yeah.
can't help you.
Yeah.
And they wandered off. But what really sucks, because I was really hoping to like murk them all.
Or maybe get murked by them. Who knows?
Wouldn't have happened.
Please no.
We'd have been fine.
Please
It's
no.
all good. There's Jackal.
I mean, yeah, we're all like fresh out of the nap zone.
Yeah.
All skills and abilities.
Yeah. You started off and like blow everything on some Jackal.
Great.
That's the best move.
I mean, yeah.
Friday night, use all your skills. That's the best way to do it.
And then nap until 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then, yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
sleep
yeah.
all the way through Saturday. And then you're good.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything. But anyway, so we got into game, and what was like the first? What did we have to deal with like first once we were all paid up? And,
Well-
I don't know what you guys were doing. I came through the Sky Gate.
oh yeah, because you're like visiting, so
Yeah,
you
and
can't be.
I think I met you guys in Tavern.
I was talking to Alistair when
yes.
when I ran into you.
Oh, okay. So then for the first thing was that like I saw Hope and Orion and we like went off to like have a conversation then, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we had a conversation with Hope and Orion about some stuff that happened at Warcry, which is like the big global event for Underworld. And what had happened is like the people who follow dragons had like stolen an acorn from the world tree that could be like a new god, you know, and like people are real incensed about it. And unfortunately, one of the people implicated in all of that was visiting with his character
Yeah.
like this month. So the conversation was like, well, what are we going to do about Alistair?
Well, yeah, and also Alistair and Hope are like an item.
Yeah, so it's like even more awkward.
Yeah, and Hope is she doesn't follow any gods, but she like follows the tree and reveres the tree of life itself.
So it's like a big betrayal,
Yeah.
you know? And Orion and Hope are sort of sharpening their knives.
Yeah.
In this
more so
regard.
Orion than Hope, but
Well, but you know what I mean. Like Hope
Yeah.
is Hope. Orion is sharpening his knife, and Hope is going. Yeah.
Hope is
You know,
going like, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, but this is how I feel.
Yeah, I remember part of our conversation was like, okay, so you're talking about that you don't like Alistair or what he's done, and
Yeah.
you don't like what's going on. If you want me to do something about that, you have to ask me. Like, I'm not going to take your implication and just work with it, because Erin is a creature of her word and a creature of her bargain and her deal, right? Even though she's not a witch anymore, she still cares about that stuff a lot, and she did care about it before then as well. So I was like, Hope, if you want me to do something about Alistair, you have to ask me to do it. Here is what I will do without you asking me. I will speak to Alistair, I will ascertain the truth of what happened, and I will advise him as to how to proceed and not get murdered. Basically. That's what I said. Other than that, unless you ask me, I won't do anything. And she seemed satisfied with that. Orion, on the other hand, was like sharpening his knife and being like, I'm gonna fucking stab this guy.
Yeah.
So I called in my favor with Orion. I said, like, I'm gonna call in one you owe me, Orion. You can't kill him until I'm done with him.
Yeah.
And I'll be done with him this evening.
And Orion is a fae. He's a she, and he like favors are like the currency.
Yeah,
He
it like
was,
matters a lot to him.
So it's like that is like the one. Other than that, he worships like the god of chaos.
Yeah.
So that's like the one thing. If like you get a favor out of him, like you can
You can
know.
you can rely on it.
Yeah.
You can rely that it will work out the way you want it to work out.
Yeah.
Which is great, you know, because it's difficult. Getting a favor from him is like he has to ask you for something he really wants.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I remember it was that he wanted, like, that favor came from me exercising his cabin.
Oh,
a long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was like, I need you to get rid of this fucking angry spirit that's in her cabin. I just
Was that the Furbolg spirit?
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
remember that one. That was
exercised-
like the last year I was
Yeah, I
here.
exorcised it from the cabin. Oh, no, it was like the small angry child or whatever that was like wrecking out shit in their cabin.
Oh, and that one. Okay,
No.
I don't know that one.
But yeah, so
But either way.
that was where I got that favor, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was like an angry child actually. It was screaming. It wasn't the first murder of Bog.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was the like really
Yeah.
really traumatized child.
Yeah, but it was the same Furbog who did the haunt.
Yeah,
thing.
it was
Oh,
it was her who did it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I made that deal, and the first thing I thought after that was, well, gotta go talk to Alistair because I need to be done with him as quickly as possible because I don't want to make Orion wait.
And while she went off, I was waiting. I was like stood with Hope and Orion because Amon is like deeply also concerned about this whole situation.
Yeah.
Because first of all, her person Hope is upset. Second of all, like someone messed with the world tree. That's not okay. No, bad. And one of the things that stands out is like as like Aaron leaves, Orion's still like got his murder face on as he's like staring off in the distance. He was like, no, that's a good use of a favor. It's a good use of a favor. It's like kind of like talking himself down kind of thing. Yeah.
So I went off to go talk to Alistair, and I found him, and I approached him, and while he was talking to somebody else, I don't really remember. I think he was talking to Jeter. And I came up to him and I said, Alistair, we need to have a conversation. And he went, oh yeah, of course, and like got up, and we moved over to a different table and like sat down. And went, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say to you. You know, like I'm sure you've had this conversation already since you've been here, but I need to know the truth of what happened on the World Tree. And he's like, of course, I'll tell you everything. And I'm like, no, I need to know the truth. And I like held out my hand to him, and he grabbed my hand, and I went, by force of will I inflict charm. And, like, and now you will tell me everything that happened, like truthfully to a friend. You know, like I can't fuck around with this. Like you need to tell me the truth. So
I didn't know that you charmed him.
Yeah, I charmed him.
Ooh.
So I charmed him so that he would listen to me, and but he volunteered for it. Like he knew I was gonna do something.
Yeah.
I mean, like so it's fine. I charmed him so he would listen to me, and so that he would tell me everything without leaving any like compromising details out, because that would be a problem for my situation. So I had this conversation with him, and it basically went that he was duped, honestly. He didn't know what they were going to do, and then he tried to help Sybil kill a drake, and Sybil didn't let him, and by the time he had finished having that argument, they already had the acorn.
Yeah.
And he didn't even know, like, what happened, basically.
Yeah.
Which sucks, because, like, yeah, he got duped.
Yeah, the thing I find at least with that was that all the Dragon Knights and everything and like the higher tiered followers seemed to know what the hell was going on, but then like there was a bunch of people like Alistair and a bunch of other people who just got like whirlwind dragged into
what he said to Aaron was he got told that there was dragon stuff going on.
Yeah.
And he's all about dragon stuff.
Yeah.
And so my advice to him was be contrite, talk about how much of an idiot you are. Like forgive, you need to apologize.
Yeah.
And you need to like beg for forgiveness from your friends and your like your people.
Yeah.
If you want them to believe you. What you also need to do is start thinking about what the fuck you are doing with other dragons, right? Because he's a follower of the gold dragon, which is like the dragon of like pure and wonderful knights, like they are sort of like the holy knights of dragons. Like I don't know how to explain it better, but like if you think shining golden knight, it's a dragon knight of T'Zoth.
Like
right?
defend the weak.
Defender of the weak.
Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah.
Like faith and honor.
Not honor.
Not honor, but
or is honor? I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know T'Zoth stuff, but like they're the good guys.
Yeah.
And when dragon stuff was said, it was dragon stuff for dragons that are like the dragon of demon deals and like the dragon of necromancy.
Well,
not
necromancy. Siphon's more tactics than necromancy.
Well, the
Siphon
dragon
is the dragon of undead.
He just has the orb of necromancy. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
That's still bad.
No, I'm not saying it's not bad.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that a golden dragon aspirant should not be listening to what purple and black are telling him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bad... Well, not purple. I don't know what Ixiad is.
Red and white. Or
Red.
red and black.
Red and black?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Gold
Yeah.
versus black and red and black. Like,
Yeah.
You don't let the other dragons tell you what to do. And I'm like, you need to separate yourself from these other dragon followers. You can't just like let them tell you dragon stuff and then you be like, well, all dragons are friends, because then you get implicated in their bad guy shit.
Yep.
Right? And I basically had to tell him that, and they're like, he seemed to think that was weird, and I don't understand, because like none of the light gods necessarily like work together, none of the dark gods necessarily work together like as well as any of the dragons. And I don't understand this mentality that like all dragons are friends. I don't know where that fucking came from. It's like super weird to me.
It's a Jericho thing, because in Jericho you've got all the dragon followers camped together, so they all work together. And whilst that doesn't translate so much maybe on a global scale, but that's what Alistair would probably just be more used to, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I had to basically tell him like, why are you furthering the goals of Ixiad? Why are you furthering the goals of Siphon? Like these bad dragons that you don't agree with, you know? Like, why are you choosing to do that? You need to stop doing that. You need to tell people that you're gonna stop doing that, you know? And that might work for you.
Yeah. And Emon basically had that conversation last month with Joran, who is a Zenithstrand PC, who is an Ixiad devotee, but he was also...
Ixiad, by the way, is the god, the dragon of, like, witchcraft and, like, deals. So, and spiders.
All the spiders.
Yeah. So he was really into like the wheeling and dealing aspect and like the spider element, and he was also a druid and very into making sure that the things that he cared about was making sure that the world tree and that like these things were growing and what have you. I'm not sure more about like his motivations behind that, but that's what he wanted. So when Emon had this conversation with him last month, he was really torn about it, because on one hand, he reveres what Ixiad stands for, but he doesn't he didn't want to stand behind her actions, kind of thing. So that was a really interesting conversation. There's nothing that came out of it last month, but the end of it was that, all right, well, I'm going to have this conversation again the next time you see her, and it's probably and it might be a lot faster and a lot more violent.
Yeah.
And that's up to you.
I still love Ixiad. You're probably going to get stabbed.
Like, yeah. So especially at that point, you guys had... What, just the information I had given you,
Yeah.
right? Via
Well,
the letter?
and Juder telling us.
Oh, and
everything
Juder,
that happened.
yeah.
And Ival
Ival
also.
also.
Right.
Yeah. So we had a couple of accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like all of the accounts matched up, so it's like...
So to continue the thing with Alistair, I got to the end of this conversation with him, and he's like, yeah, that's all good advice, thank you. Like, you know, like, that sounds good. And then I said, do you want to do this by yourself? You know, like, do you want to be the person to do this? He's like, I think I do, you know, like, who else is going to do it? I say, like, well, I'll represent you. You know, I will happily represent you to Hope and Orion and anyone else who has a problem with you, but you'll owe me. like doing the, like, yeah, that's right. I'm still wheeling and dealing, you know. I'll happily represent you. I'll do the talking for you, but you'll owe me. And he hummed and hawed for a moment, and then was like, no, I gotta do it myself. I'm like, all right, then that's the end of this conversation. That's, you know, that's what I got. That's what I got for you. It was around then that you like came in.
Yeah, you weren't talking to him for too long, and
No.
I like stumbled in looking like 7 layers of baked hell.
Yeah, you looked pretty shit.
Yeah. And so I just gated in, stumbled around, came into the tavern, saw you there, then what did I do? I went and I think I got coffee.
You might have talked to Juder a little bit while I was
Yeah,
talking
I think
to
I said,
Alistair.
oh yeah, because I had to give, Annabelle, which I don't remember if you guys met.
I don't
or
think we met her.
not.
No, we didn't.
Okay, so she's a Doranth follower back in town, and she's also the head of the sheriff's department, who's also now my boss because I got voluntold into the
So you're deputy sheriff of
sheriff
Jericho.
of Jericho. So because at our Hollows game that was 2 weekends prior to this,
Yeah.
I took 2 deaths.
Yeah, you had in a bad way.
Like, within 10 hours, I died twice, and it was real rough. And not only did my character's mental state very much suffer, but also, like, yeah, I just didn't have a lot going for me. So Annabelle had sent a stash, like a little mason jar full of tags
yeah.
and potions. There was, like, she told me there was, like, 50 gold worth of
Stuff.
potion scrolls, alchemy in there, and a letter for Juder, which I don't remember the exact wording of it, but
I can remember that it basically said, like, if Kate is damaged, that is vandalism of Jericho property and will be treated as such. Basically.
Yeah, the long and short of it was like, listen, I don't want to fill out the paperwork for a new deputy, so keep him alive.
Yeah.
I'm just like, great.
Cool. Feel really valued, yeah. But so then we went to meet up with the rest of them.
Yeah, we went to the cabin.
And I think I went to bed. Like,
yeah, you kind of cashed
pretty much after that.
We had a good like gathering everyone together.
Orion and Hope came to talk to me when I was like just settling down. And I basically told them what I told Alistair, and I told them, one of the things I did tell Alistair that I forgot to mention was that I said he should swear to assist them in any way that he possibly could to make up for his failure, like that kind of thing. And so I told them, instead of stabbing him, what they should do is make him work for them. Like make him prove,
prove his like that he has.
Yeah.
He is contrite.
Prove that he wants to be forgiven, rather than just say things. And I was like, a death is a cheap lesson, but making him work for it is a better way to do it. Hoping that it would work out that way, because what I wanted to do was orchestrate both sides and make sure nobody died. It didn't necessarily work out that way.
But yeah, once we all got together, I told everyone I died twice, and the first immediate action was everyone looked at me, and Iman just scuttled over and like smacked me with a barkskin. No more.
Defense.
Yeah.
And what did you guys get up to Friday night? Because I went to bed right after that.
Well, the first thing is like Iman was like real nervous about like kind of like the tensions that were rising pre-trial. Did you talk about the Wild Elf trial a bit? Because there's like we knew that there's a trial.
Last month I talked about that there was going to be a trial and that the Jen Vespin's fate sort of hung on the balance. Yeah.
It's trying to be bigger than more than just us. But
yeah. So
we went walking in the woods.
Yeah. Well, the long and short of that, so the trial part. So Iman like was really concerned because there's also someone staying with us who had the people who were instigating the trial had also kind of like come after Ringlet, the dwarf who was staying with us as well, and Hope was also feeling nervous. So he gathered everyone together, and we're just kind of like, all right, everybody, we all need to be diligent and make sure that nobody goes off alone. Like. We need to make sure that, like, we've always got a buddy because we don't know what's going on and we want to be, like, we want to look after ourselves if something kicks off.
We don't know necessarily who's hostile right now and who's not.
So that was a big, long conversation. And then we kind of, like, wandered off, let Erin kind of get her rest. And, I had received some rumors at the beginning of the game, which is interesting. Zenithstrand's trialing kind of like a rumors and influences system, is I believe what they've called it.
Yeah.
And so they let you kind of like state some like things about your character, about either factions that they've interacted with in the past, kind of like craftsman skills that they have, or like other kind of like relevant factions, like whether you are like tied to a religion or an external being or what have you. And one of the tidbits I got was that, like, from Iman has like a profession which is tracking, was that like in the area around here there are dead bodies being eaten by various wild animals. You can see them every once in a while. And we'd heard that the jackal were wandering around. It's like, all right, well, what do necromancers want? Fresh
Dead
bodies.
bodies, yeah.
Let's go tidy them up.
Let's go make sure the necromancers don't find the dead bodies before we do. Yeah.
Yeah. So we gathered.
Dirty necromancers.
Yeah, we gathered up the little group of us who were still awake and like scurried over to the plot camp to go knock on the door. And I was fully expecting them to say like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a little off-screen talk about how you go around and pick up these bodies and then come back. And no. There's just like Archer and Drew just like share a glance and smile and say like, they're out there in Instamods.
We're just like,
go have fun. So Instamods are little cards that are like posted to trees all around the site.
they're like a sandwich baggie, and they just tape them or tie them to trees.
And you'll pull a note out of them, and it'll say like, before you lies the body of like a wild elf chewed on and like whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have tags, sometimes they don't. But every one that we found had a tag for a body.
Yeah. And there were some other things like dissipated corpses that like had left stuff behind.
I didn't know you found a dissipated corpse.
Well, it was like a pile of leaves in the shape of like a lump of a body kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So it's like someone died, was covered up, then dissipated, is the way I read it.
Yeah.
And that was great. So we spent like an hour and a half just like, because it had freshly snowed, just kind of like tracking the footsteps of the NPC who placed up the mods. And that NPC, or I think it was Drew.
It was Drew. Hands down.
Was like screwing with us every way. He would like walk forward, put something up, and trace his steps backwards.
Because Drew does that.
Yeah. Or like follow like on paths, diverge, and then come back. And his particular gait was like, I think he also might have varied it at some points because it's slightly longer than mine. And then he would like shorten his steps so they'd be like, crap, is this him? We don't know. And there are like tracks all over the place. It was really fun.
I'm super glad that I was asleep. Because I hate.
You probably would have been like, what
I
the hell's
fucking
going on?
hate trudging around in like ankle deep snow.
It
Like,
wasn't even that bad then. It was like maybe that much snow.
All right. It would have been okay, but I'm not one to wander aimlessly looking for Instamods. I prefer to sleep.
Yeah.
We had like what, 6 of us?
Yeah, I think
there's a
so.
couple
Like
of
at
you
some
guys.
point we split off. Like Fee and
Yeah, finish your thought, but I remember the thing we should talk about.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like Fee and Kiridin, formerly known as Hattie, were branching off. At one point, Hattie like followed some footsteps, stopped, looked around, said like, "There's nothing here," and came back. And then I was like, I don't think so. So I stepped on there. I looked around. It's like, aha, that's a pile of leaves. If I was trying to be sneaky, I'd step on that pile of leaves and then keep on going. So I stepped on the leaves and looked around. It's like, there's the other footstep. I picked something up and I'm like, haha. It's like, always remember, you've got to respect the person you're tracking. And he was very contrite, and that felt like a badass moment. I wanted, like, the characters around also kind of, like, let me take lead because I had, like, this profession thing, even though, like, other people are probably better trackers than me.
Like, out of
game. But it was, like, really cool to, like, have this, like, proficiency feeling from a character's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, at one point, you had broken off with some of the group, and me and Fee broke off on another path because we saw lights in the forest, which thankfully just turned out to be solar lights and not like a ritual circle, because I was like, oh god, we're gonna walk on a necro ritual circle, I'm gonna get fucking death together. Still did it though.
Yeah.
How stupid I can
Well,
be.
you can't be like, I see lights over there, I guess I'll just ignore them, you know what I mean? Like, because, like, if there are NPCs waiting over there, those poor motherfuckers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the outer game of, like, they're just standing out there in the cold waiting for somebody to
buggers.
notice. But no, it was nothing, right?
Yeah.
It ended up being nothing. So an important point from our, was it Friday night that we did the first part, that you did the first part of this, Siobhan? The, like, so two of our members of our group have changed their names.
Yeah, it was Friday
The
night.
braiding.
Have changed their names. So Hati is now Kiridin, And Skull is now Revalin. Changing some infernal names to non-infernal names. They weren't given like command to do so, but we kind of talked about it, and it like felt better to do it that way. So we came up with some story to like make it happen.
So the previous month, the Revalin came to Iman, and Iman had added Revalin to her braid, but not Círdan. And Revalin said the animal that you gave to me doesn't feel right. I am not a wolf.
Those two are brothers, by the way.
Yeah.
They're twins.
Yeah. And they're like, and that was directly tied to kind of like the legend that they were referencing in their names kind of thing, and they wanted to move past it. So this was kind of like the first trigger of like, this isn't me, I need to forge my new identity kind of thing. So my mom was like, let me think, because like, I wanted to roll with it and not just say like, oh, let's just redo it, it'll be fine. It's like, no, let's have something here. It's like, all right, I will think on this, I'll come back to you, and I will figure out, because I don't know whether I can replace the animal that I woke up in you. I don't know whether, I don't think it works that way. I think it's just like when it's woken up and named, that's the creature. So I thought about it, and then like it struck me later in that last event, and I came back to him and said like, your twin is the wolf. Because in Vespin legend, twins share a soul.
Yeah, they share like a spirit, so it makes sense that like Iman would mistake one half of the spirit for another sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's like that's why it feels wrong. You have Círdan's wolf. And Círdan must have your animal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So when you're both together, we can figure this out. And we can like find the right animals for you. And then so that was the setup for this. So then at this event, both of them were there. Círdan comes back and he's had some soul searching, because he's got some talks from Rachel last time he was around her.
He's been trying to be more disciplined.
Yeah.
You know, like, because he's been very angry and very violent and stuff, and he understands that causes us trouble, so he's been trying to be more, like, self-conscious of his actions and the way that they present him.
Yeah.
I think is mostly, like, what I got from it.
Yeah. And I think there's also, like, he's kind of settled knowing that, like, he's not alone anymore.
No, that, like, we are there also, yeah.
So the first thing Iman did when they're kind of like, okay, we need to resolve this right away as fast as possible, because they're both feeling at a loss because of this. So she goes to Círdan and wakes up his wolf from Skull. So the entire time she didn't activate wakes up his wolf from Revalin. So she didn't activate Revalin's wolf the entire time. And he was like felt weird because like that creature wasn't awake.
Yeah.
And it was and now it was taken from him and given to his twin. So he was like, this animal that's with me is gone. And then Círdan, like, I had no idea.
A wolf for him.
Yeah, I had no idea what their names were before the event, so I usually draw an animal in the shape of like their names. I'll like take the letters of their name and scramble them up. So I like jury rigged something together on like paper that I borrowed because I forgot my stuff at home, and then assign it to him. And then cool, he's now there. He's part of the braid. And then like after that happens, his twin, who now doesn't have an animal anymore, collapses, and he like is limping and like shuddering for the next 24 hours because they can only do this once a day. So like major props to Brody for like embracing that.
Yeah, he did really well.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he spent so much effort fake limping that it actually aggravated his real limp.
That is why I stopped doing that.
I'm just like, oh no.
That is why I have stopped doing that with Aaron, because we would be like 3 days after I'd still be feeling the like weird balance, and I can't ruin my out of game legs for some good role play.
Yeah.
So I don't do that anymore. But yeah, so I think that was most of Friday night, and then we kind of all came back and retired.
Yeah.
There was the visitors at like 5:30 in the morning, Oh, you guys were kind of
Oh
unconscious.
no!
Oh yeah,
we
right.
woke
'cause
up
we
in the...
actually, yeah,
No,
right.
no. I think Aaron woke up as well. Do you remember in the middle of the night, Iman like getting up, looking out the window, and being like, "I think they're killing Hope."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we all.
That was after they came into our cabin.
Oh yeah, they knocked at our door looking for Grumbo.
Yeah.
No. They didn't knock. They walked.
Oh yeah,
in,
sorry, yeah.
Stepped over my bed, which is right near the door, and I'm just like.
Yeah, they were walking around with
guess I'll die.
we were walking around with their little masks on, and I woke up and I saw them. I'm like, if they do anything, like there's a side blade right there. I can just conjure it, fuck them up, like immediately. But then they went away, so I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, they're
Yeah.
going away. But so then you
Yeah.
heard the killing blow that was happening outside, or there's
Yeah.
some kind of killing blow happening. We could hear the fighting.
They were just
Yeah.
fucking around.
So we got up
Yeah.
and we rushed out to rescue some
Yeah.
people, and they were just fucking around, and it was
Which happened a couple
waste of our
times
fucking
this
time.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? That proves that we don't fuck around when it comes to hearing
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
going on and
Yeah.
acting on it. Like we don't just sit in our bed going, it'll be fine. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Friday night was mostly fine. I
Yeah.
don't remember anything particularly bad.
Yeah, it's just the
Having a weird visitor is par for the course.
yeah. But I was kind of expecting what's his name, Scarf, to pop up at some point or something like that.
What I was concerned about was a jackal cabin raid,
squad?
a
Yeah.
cabin raid. Yeah. So when I saw the skull masks that they were wearing, bird skulls, I was like, okay, this could be it. You know what I mean? But they were talking goblins.
No, they were because if you saw them, they were actually masquerade masks. They
Yeah,
were
it just
Yeah.
looked bird skulls.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. We found out that rushing out, there was nothing going on. They were just
Yeah.
dicking around.
Well, yeah. So I found out later because I came out. I need to go to the privy, so I
And I
went
went
out.
with you.
Yeah. And they were hanging out there, and I ran into what's his name? The goblin who's running around.
Grumbo.
Yeah, and he was like, this is probably the most conversation that Iman's had with him, and he was freaking out about these
yeah.
things. He was like, they're there's some kind of super powerful divinity. I don't
just
know
like-
what they are, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, yeah, because you had gone
yeah.
to the bathroom. He
Yeah.
run in and started horking up a.
Oh yeah,
ball
horking up
thing.
alchemy. Yeah.
And while he was doing that, I was sitting at a table waiting for you to come out of the
Yeah.
privy, and I'm just like, huh.
Huh.
Is this gonna be thrown at me, or is it thrown at someone else? And
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that late night, fuck.
Yeah.
5:30 a.m.
Yeah, and then Orion waltzes out with them, and he's chatting them up and having a good old talk, and I'm like, Orion is a Dread Knight of Starin, so I'm like,
Okay.
all right, so these are either Fae or having something to do with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be over here.
I'm gonna go away now. Yeah.
That way.
I'm like, side door, exit.
Yeah.
No, thank you. None of that, please.
Yeah, if Orion gets Hope killed, I'll deal with Orion later.
Yeah, so that went fine. Saturday morning, we all slept in super late.
Yeah.
I went to get up and go to the privy, but I
Yeah.
came back and went back to bed at some point, and it
Yeah.
was we slept until probably midday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I slept until I got to tavern at 10 o'clock to just go and hit the head, and then I came back because I'm like, we're supposed to be on shift in
Yeah.
an hour.
It's we're supposed to take our walk soon. It's oh crap. But before that happened, there's a messenger at the door. Early in the morning.
the Skyne messenger.
Knock.
Yeah.
It's I have letters for Fee, Aerolith, and Iman.
So I just took them all, and because I got
Yeah.
everybody else just fucking stays in their beds when people knock on the door. I always
No.
have to get up.
No, you started moving before I did, so I was like, cool, don't have to do it.
I just mean Aerolith's right there. You know,
Dead to the world.
but yeah, so I got the letters and I put them down.
Aerolith reads his.
No, he didn't. He
right.
was still asleep for a good 2 hours.
Right, he wakes up.
I put them on the table
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
told them when they woke up that
Yeah.
the letters were there.
So I read mine immediately.
Yeah.
Well, not really. I opened the letter. Iman opened the letter, read the first two sentences, saw one of the capital letters of the words at the bottom, closed it, immediately put it to the side, and was like, I can't deal with this.
Wait, we're gonna wait on this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no, no. and then internal screaming in the back
I believe
of her head.
Aeroliths said something like, "We're fucking coming for you."
Oh,
No one leaves
yeah.
the swarm.
Yeah, no one leaves the swarm. You have 3 days to think about it.
Yeah.
It was like he was paranoid the whole weekend that he was gonna
poor
get
guy.
like death squatted.
Yeah, because his former swarm is he ran away.
He wrote a backstory of like his former family was like necromancy and bad stuff, and like he kind of left
didn't
them.
want any of
Yeah,
that.
he didn't want any of that, so he left. So it's nice to see them like tapping into his personal plot to like provoke him,
Yeah.
which is cool. I think a lot of those notes were that kind of thing where it was like we don't have to put a lot of NPC effort into making it happen, but here's some like maybe a thread
paranoia.
you can like follow if
Yeah.
you want to, kind of thing.
Which is nice.
Fee had one that was about her sister or something. I don't really know.
I actually did not talk to Fee because when I wanted to, Morgan was like injured.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I read Fee's letter because she like handed it to me.
Oh,
and,
okay.
to like have me read.
Oh yeah.
I read every letter in that place. Not
Yeah.
because I looked at them before
Yeah.
other people did, but because people were like, "Shaman, I need you to like weigh in here." And then first thing Saturday that we got up to.
I don't know
Oh.
what you got up to, but
The
I
girls.
as I got out of bed, because I'd also received another rumor from kind of like a Sybil Vision-ish thing that there was a fawn wandering around that was kind of felt tied to like the natural order of the world kind of thing. So I look out, I see a fawn, and there's a deer ambling after the fawn.
Yeah.
Poor Clark.
That stuff.
And this
Nothing but a vest.
He's like naked, yeah.
Oh my god, the boy is insane.
He chooses to do that though. That is like entirely his fault.
Well, it's like it made sense, but still, he just felt so. I threw my sweater on, and I'm just like, stop it.
yeah. So Clark is the player of Ilias, who's now on
An NPC.
an NPC for a season kind of thing. So he's playing a role, and Emon just like looks at this, and there's just Shaper coming over. It's like, yeah, you feel something's up here. You feel something here. It's like there's this person is like, yeah, they're not normal kind of thing. And it's like, cool. Well, I'm gonna help you. So you're looking for animals? We're finding animals. Let's do this. So we wander around with this little fawn, and I kind of like try and discern what's going on. And he's just like, okay, here we see another animal in the distance. He runs over. He kind of like croons at the animal a little bit, and then the animal like locks onto him and just like follows him around. And he's like, okay, well, let's send you back home. It's kind of like cold here. There's not enough to eat. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Opening portal 1, opening portal 2, opening portal 3. He goes up to some trees, parts the water, and it's like, yeah. And then the Shaper comes over. It's like, you recognize that's like the world tree.
Shoving them into a portal, the world tree.
Yeah. We're like, and the entire time he's like, this white stuff on the ground is really weird. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, why would you have this?
I remember saying to someone, I don't know who I was talking to, but I'm like, fucking creatures that just like don't know the world, and they're walking around naked.
It was me.
It was you.
Yeah, we were just
I
like,
was just like,
to be so
like,
innocent.
who the fuck is this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron is a cynical person.
Okay. And this freaking fawn's name was Alder,
Of course it was.
which is a complete coincidence.
And it's completely unrelated to
It's
anything.
completely unrelated to anything, but as far as my character is concerned, that's a sign.
Uh-huh.
It's a sign.
Because she knows someone else named Alder. That's it.
No, I know, no, because Alder is like the wood fae who turned him on into a wood fae.
Yeah,
to
I
begin
know,
with.
because you
There's-
know someone else named Alder. It's just that nobody else knows what the fuck you're talking about.
I know,
so
I
I'm
know.
trying to
That's I'm
clarify.
trying to also explain it.
Okay, alright.
Yeah. So it's like Alder was like, and then she thought of like Alder as like kind of like a father figure, and then like she adopted a moss troll, and like she named the moss troll Alder in honor of like
Of course you do.
her wood fae
I
father.
remember that stupid moss troll. I wanted to kill it more than anything in the universe.
Hey,
I did. It woke me up like 3 times. It provoked me.
I know. I was that's old Calder. I was
This is before we were like
Yeah, yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I was really impressed that nobody stabbed that NPC who played that thing.
I definitely stabbed him. 100%.
Oh,
I
no,
definitely
sorry.
did.
By stabbed, I mean, like, killed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very impressed by that. Was kind of sad that, like, the moss baby that I'd spent, like, a whole bunch of time tending ended up to be, like, just an annoying wake-up mod. Because that's all it was, and then the NPC buggered off, and I was like, okay. But emotionally, Emon adores this child. And then, like, he's passed away a long time ago.
Stupid-ass troll.
But, like, reading that letter that, like, in the morning that, like, called on, like, stuff in Iman's past, and then seeing Alder again is just, like, been like, oh no, like, there's, the past is coming back.
Sure.
Like, the past is, like, dragging up. There's more going on here. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. And when we set up Hope's Grove as well.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't part of that.
Mm.
There was something Saturday before I fucking passed out. It was the pirate ship. I'm pretty sure it was the pirate ship.
Yeah, well, yeah, because me and Siobhan were on our NPC.
Yeah,
we
you
were
guys
on-
were NPCing, and I didn't do a lot while you guys were NPCing. I have to say, like, I think I sat around and, like, had some conversations.
Didn't there's some Thorn stuff.
Oh, yeah, so, the Thorn and some Church of Light, the Thorn being, like, the Wild Elf tribe, the Thorn, like, came, like, gallivanting into our, like, or, like, crashing into our town, fighting each other. So there's, like, two groups of NPCs fighting each other as they, like, come into town. They're, like, throwing pillars of light and, like, vampire shit and, like, yeah, they're, like, fighting each other.
Oh, yeah,
As they
that must
come-
have been the thing that was going out just
Yeah,
as
yeah.
we went in.
As they come into town, they're all fighting each other, and I didn't realize it was two groups at the beginning. It was just like stuff was happening, and like things were hostile. So, you know, pull my sword and fight. So I see an NPC, I square up, and I'm like, you know, what do I see? Like, I don't know what this is. And they're like, you see like a Thorn vampire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool. So I have the side blade in my hand, and I'm like, undead are my hated race. That's great. 11 magic, 11. Just like wail on this guy. and you could see the NPC being like, holy fuck. Like, that's a lot more than I thought that would be. And just like dueled this vampire into submission. And then one of the Church of Light guys was like running away because he got coward, and he ran past me, and I slept him, and then I just went to Kieran and like kill him, and like, yeah. Kieran goes up and just starts garroting him, like pulls him off the ground, sleeping, garrots him to death. Yeah, there was just like a couple of those moments, and I ended up Ed's Church of Light guy is fighting the same vampire I'm fighting. And then we kill him, and I'm like, who are you? And he's like, Church of Light. Like, they came into our camp, you know? And
cool.
like, kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, great. You know, like, well done. Good killing him. And he's like, this place wasn't here. Like, well, it was empty when we came by last time. And I was like, recent migrants. And he's like, all right, cool. It's like, thanks for helping us kill those vampires. You know, and I'm like, you're welcome. and he starts walking away, and Laura comes up to me. He's like, who that? You know? And I'm like, Church of Light. And he's like, and you what? And I'm like, you can kill him if you want. And he's like, Lur. Like, goes after him. I didn't see what happened, but he came back a little bit later and went, you get him? Lur goes, yeah.
Oh, Blur.
Like, his, like, disappointed, like, I thought you would fight him. Why didn't you fight him?
I'm giving him to you, Lur.
It's like, I'm taking him.
You take him. No, I mean, he's an ogre. He's a big ogre that just, like, fucks shit up.
With a giant
two-handed
axe
spear. Yeah, he's great. He's a bog guy. But anyway, that's what happened there. And then I was like, shit, I need to talk to the Thorn. Like, if I can talk to the Thorn, we might be able to, like, plan something. You know what I mean? Because we have this, like, Wild Elf meeting coming up that if I can make some arrangements at the beginning, we can maybe make it work better. So I went looking for the Thorn. We, like, tried to track them back. And because I have no tracking skills, we got nothing. But I, like, left them a message, basically, hoping they would see it. They didn't see it before the meeting, but that's fine. Like I said, I don't have any tracking skills on my character card, so I didn't expect to find anything, but I thought I'd try. if Iman had been there, we might have had a chance, but such is life. It's hard to track a vampire because they misform and shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was one of the things that happened while you guys were on NPC.
There's also that fire cannon.
Oh yeah, the fucking cannon. Okay.
I had no idea what that mod was about. I was a slorpy ooze.
So we got a message that there was like a Dominionite super weapon that we needed to deal with, because if the Church of Light found it, they could wipe cities off the map. But we could use it to like blow up their fleet or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like we could activate it and do that. So we went to go look at it, and in the end, like we fought our way into this little cave.
Yeah.
And, myself and Tamaru made our way to the control panel, and we like looked it over. And I looked at Corey, and I'm like, I am a proficient enchanter.
Yeah.
Like, I look over the control panel, and he's like,
Yeah.
you're blinded for 10 seconds. And I'm like, ah! You know, like, fuck! Like, it's, like, incredibly powerful magic.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. So I get back on, and I'm like, I take my time a little bit more this time. I like, try and look it over a little more carefully. He's like, you see that it is, like, elementally charged, like, magic. You know, it's elementally charged. And actually, Tamaru wasn't with me this time. And I was just like, Tamaru!
Get over here!
Because he's an elementalist, ritualist, so, like, getting him over here to look at it, he's like, he looks at it, and it's like, you see that it's, like, a level 20, like ritual effect that powers this cannon, and that it charges these crystals, and you need to charge them up, and then the cannon will be operational.
Yeah.
And, like, this sort of hologram, comes to life and is, like, asking us about what we want. With the cannon, we ask it when it was last accessed. It's, like, 10 years ago, like, all this kind of stuff. We ask if there's any way to lock it or to prevent any user other than us from using it. It's like, you don't have authorization. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, and then I'm trying to think how we can do something with this, because I had just thought to myself, this is incredibly powerful magic. I want it to exist. Yeah. Because I want to study it. I want to look it over and learn something from it, right? And we kind of have two options. One is to do what is necessary to run it, which is Tamaru and I would have had to set up an elemental circle, and then charge the circle's like shield into the capacitors of this thing.
Yeah.
Which we could have done, no problem. Like Tamaru and I could have put up an elemental circle in a second.
Well, not a second. 10 minutes.
Well,
11 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah, or whatever. But it wouldn't have been an issue to do that.
Yeah.
Except in the middle of a combat zone.
Well, that's fine. Other people can shield us. I don't get distracted by that kind of shit. When it's like, if I get distracted, I die.
It's more where packets are sailing through the air, where it's like, Blackstone.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. But so that was our first option. Our second option was to just, like, break it. Like, dismantle the thing. And, like, dismantling it would take time, because that would be, like, taking it apart piece by piece and, like, keeping the pieces. Take, like, weeks. Even for Ringlet was, like, how long would it take me to, like, take this thing apart? And it was, like, weeks, It's big. It's, like, hinges in the roof level cannon. You know what I mean? Like, it's not moving.
Yeah.
The console told us that we could have shot it at the Dominionite fleet in, like, Dominion waters. Can't fire it on Dominion. It's a Dominion super weapon. It won't let us fire it on Dominion.
Darn it!
I did ask. And that we could fire it on the Akasan capital like a bunch of other places. It, like,
you could just, like, wipe someone off the map?
It basically it listed off, like, a series of targets that we could have fired it at. But in the end, people were too concerned about, like, civilian casualties, because even on the fleet ships, there might be prisoners, and, like, blowing them up makes us look like... What I said was activating a super weapon makes us the bad guys.
Oh, yeah.
If we fire a giant death cannon at anything, the Church of Light has justification now to kill us, right? Yeah. So that's what I said.
I mean, in their minds, they had justification anyway.
Sure, but I'm saying from an outsider perspective, they could look at it and see that justification.
Well, at that point, I think the Rolandites are like, maybe you're onto something, Kaelites. We're coming too.
Yeah, like, if we blew up a bunch of Kaelites with a super cannon, like, it looks bad for us.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd rather fight them on the field, right? But anyway, so we decide, like, we're not going to fire it, right? But now comes the, like, how are we going to take it apart? What are we going to do with it? And Dante's like, we don't have time to... Like, he comes over and he's like, we don't have time. We just got to break it. I'm like, but if we break it, we lose so much stuff. I want the stuff. So I'm like, what if we cut the power lines or whatever to the capacitors and we like stole the crystals and like left everything else fine because they couldn't fire it if they had no batteries. Like, you can't charge the batteries if there are no batteries. Dodgy's like, we don't have time, and we had like an argument, and then Ice Elemental showed up while we were arguing, and I'm like, fine, fucking blow it up. Like, it was like, if we had just done the thing that I wanted to do, we could have done it in the amount of time, but we had to argue about it, so I was like really irritated by it by the end of it. Because Tamaru turned to me and was like, you are smarter than me, you know more about this than me, it is your call. You know? And I was like, cool, Tamaru understands that I'm smarter and better than him. Cool. That's just Erin for you. She gets very, very flattered by that kind of stuff. She takes like her ego swells when you say things like that.
You don't have to mean them.
No. But yeah. So we ended up like breaking it, but I tried to like salvage some stuff from the wreckage, and I got like a glowing Grey Elven rune, because it was like Grey Elven tech, jury rig to like some High Elven like magic shit, and like some Dominion style stuff.
It was
and,
a
like,
collaboration.
It was like it was like somebody who is incredibly magically talented and knows stuff about Grey Elves managed to implement like Magitech stuff into this like incredibly powerful cannon. And I got some of that Magitech stuff that I don't understand. It's just like junk to me, but it's valuable junk. So I managed,
that's something cool to hold on to.
I've got a glowing Grey Elven rune out of that. It was the tag I got. So
sorry.
What?
I was just thinking like, if you're like if I do take scroll making, I could try and incorporate that in a scroll.
Oh no.
Nothing bad would happen.
Nothing bad has ever happened when people have tried to copy down Grey Elven technology.
Yeah.
The Grey Elves are sort of like the progenitor race, you know, like they're from like a long time ago and they're not around anymore. Just to give you some context. So we ended up busting up the cannon, and by busting up the cannon we mean we let the ice elementals bust it up, because this cannon was causing like some sort of elemental plane imbalance. And Tamaru had told me there was an elemental plane imbalance like before, like earlier in the day. And when the Ice Elves showed up and they're like, Borealis needs this to be destroyed, like it's like too much fire, you know. Then I was like, okay, cool, we're just fucking break it. It's cool. We're gonna leave. But I waited until they were done blowing it up. Everybody else had left, and then I went back into like
to like see what you can like salvage.
See if I could salvage some stuff. We also got some like wire, like Kieran got some like golden wire out of it, worth like 5 gold.
Cool.
And we got some shards of the like capacitors and stuff. Like Tamaru got some, and Grumble got some. But so it was kind of worth it. But I would have loved to have had more time and like functionality to the thing. I felt like with some time I could have learned something from it, whereas we just kind of couldn't.
But you still have a thread to pull on.
It was like too much arguing, you know what I mean? Like I should have just slept Dante and done what I wanted.
Like that doesn't surprise me.
I'm too nice.
Aaron, too nice.
Too nice. He's a high elf. He might have had resist psionics. That would have been annoying. I'd have to do it like 3 or 4 times.
It's a lot of resources.
I don't want to waste it.
Too many catalysts.
It's fine. If I really wanted to do something, I could convince. It'd be fine. It's fine.
What could have been?
It's like shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But anyway, that was how that went down. This like giant hellfire cannon super weapon.
Which we were on the first half of that NBC.
Yeah. And then after the hellfire super cannon,
Aval and N came.
Yeah, and then
you guys were doing rituals.
We had to do some rituals. So we said hello to N and Aval visiting. And then Iman and I and Tamaru did some nature rituals. I'm not going to bore you with the details because rituals are boring. They really are super boring.
The point of the ritual that like Iman had been wanting to on Hollows try and like
summon a wisp
with like a spooky wisp with a whole bunch of like there were like these autumn tokens that were going around that like I'm not sure if these have a Fae connection, but they might. So
They're
I'm
all
gonna take
pumpkin
them.
gems.
Yeah. So I traded around for as many as I could. I had like a big old pile of them. And as part of the Wisp ritual, you tell a story to like a light source, and Imon's like, all right, I want like an autumn wisp to come and help me understand understand necromancy, this thing that I am fighting against. And autumn is like tied to the sphere of necromancy, but they're also Fae and tied to nature.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like in Imon's mind, those two things are opposites, and there's this line in between. So it's like, wisp, come help me.
Come tell
help
me. Come
tell
tell me
me.
what to do.
Come tell me about these things. And then I like use the Stone of the Ascendants to be like, all right, Wisp, please
Stay
stay
with
with
me.
me. Be with me.
So Amon has a permanent wisp friend now.
Yeah.
Named Gloam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Gloam is the name I'm going with.
Yeah,
Gloam. And so you're familiar with the glowy cats?
Yeah.
You see how there's only the fat glowy cat?
Yeah.
It's like the thin glowy cat is the fizz rep I'm using, and
Yeah.
it's like adorable.
adorable.
Yeah,
That's
the
super
Shaper had
adorable.
Caro had a blast playing around with that.
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on in the night.
But so the wisps and stuff like that, like what it does is it's a light source, so you can use it as a light source, like a never running out light source.
Yeah.
And also it's capable of casting nature, but has no spells, so it can have a cloak of moonlight on it or claws.
We gotta
mean,
confirm
anyone-
that one. I want to confirm that one.
Yeah, I really do
Dude,
too.
claws.
I want to give him claws. You're like, claws.
In a bark skin, he'd be tougher than
No,
some
I
blades.
gave him. He has a or they. I'm gonna use they because
Okay,
I'm
they,
pretty
yeah.
sure wisps
Wisps are
aren't
genderless,
genders.
Yeah.
I will make them a chest rig if they say we can have claws. That'd be so good.
So,
Like
kangaroo
tiny-
pouch,
So
yeah.
like sit
Yeah.
right here, just be all glowing, and then you have the NPC with
like wearing a black Zentai suit.
Yeah.
Like a fucking claws.
crazy things to talk about on the car ride home.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, so it's like buffed up the little wisp in my pocket. They're hanging around. Yeah.
Cool.
Was it right after the? Wait, when did me and Kieran fight?
That was right after.
It was right after
It was right
that,
after
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I didn't see that fight, but I heard about it.
So we went to the tavern after that because I was like, "Fuck, I'm done with this ritual shit. Like, I'm gonna go and sit down and have." I got a hot chocolate from Ashen, the fire elf, and I was like, "Yes, they're drinking this." And like, Ashen's always super polite to me. It's great. The fire elves in general, very hospitable. You know, Ashen's like,
yeah.
"Shaman, like, can I get you something? Like,
Yeah.
you want like, whatever we're making at the moment.
Yeah.
If you want food, like, we have all this food." I'm like, Jesus, Ashen, like,
Well, the cultural crossover is really strong there.
it's quite good.
Yeah.
And the fire elves are super matriarchal, so I get why they would
Be
like
that.
Aaron is kind of in charge as well, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a weird thing.
It's like, and they're tribal as well, so it's like, okay, you're similar to, you're also
like you're
a
similar
tribe.
to the matriarch
Yeah.
to these other people.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Like role play wise.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I'm sitting here and there's a dueling ring that's been deployed by someone bog related because it was like to lure from Victor.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
and a dueling ring is super cool. It's like a little level 2 protections ritual that you can deploy that allows people to assert a challenge to another person and then fight them to that challenge. So if it's to bleed count or death count or to first blood,
Or
whatever.
dissipation.
You can have whatever challenge
Yeah.
you want, but afterwards all your skills are reset.
So you can go full.
So you can
ham.
go full ham. You can use everything you want in that dueling ring, and then afterwards you're back to your
body
all
points,
the
your
things.
armor points.
All the things that you have used in that dueling ring are reset. So you can use your skills and not worry about on frivolous fights and not worry about not having them later. So people were going nuts in the dueling ring all weekend. But I think the best fight that I saw was between Cade and Kieran. If you wanna, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
To preface this, Kieran has been challenging everybody.
Everyone in the Vespin.
Yeah. So he challenged him on, and he was like, "We should fight later." It's like, "Oh, you want to fight? Yeah, later. Rabbit." You don't get to choose when to fight when you challenge me to a fight. That's not how it works.
I'm like, dispel magic.
Yeah.
He's like, what happened? You lost.
That was it. That was Friday night too.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's so much of a blur. Actually,
You want me
Yeah.
to? I was kind of.
You were observing. I was in
kinda
the
on
zone,
outside.
so it's probably better if you talk.
So
Yeah.
both of them were like dual wielder fighters. 'Cause
I do wield swords. He do wields axes.
axes, yeah. And it looked pretty even, like mostly sort of back and forth at the beginning when you guys started. Because like you'd get a couple hits in, he'd get a couple of hits in. Like you're both like fairly aggressive, like willing to sort of trade defense for offense. It looked like anyway. And then he got you in like a fucking corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what he did to
He
get
had
you
hamstrung
there.
both my ankles, so I was carrying 2 hamstrings. That was one thing.
Yeah, no, it was that he was beating you in the straight out fight, basically, and then you pre-deferred one of his axes, and that turned it. It looked like he was gonna beat you up, and then you started using skills, basically.
Yeah.
Like he got you right in the corner, and you went, blam, pre-defer. You steal one of his axes. You got his axe and your sword in your hand, and he's got one axe now, and he's trying to like defend, and you're like pressing the attack, and then he drops his axe, grabs you,
Headbutt.
and headbutts you.
And then I remember him. He had headbutt me and came behind me with his garrote.
Yeah, he comes around, he tries to like choke wire you.
Yeah, and basically he gets to the
gets
10
to
count
10.
in his garrote.
And that's when the headbutt wears
the
off.
headbutt wore off, and then I'm like, with +5 strength, I rip out because of Divine Relic.
Yeah,
And
so,
then I'm just like, I got you now, bitch.
so he rips free. So Cade rips free from the garrote wire. Hati has no weapons in his hands.
So I trip him as he was going to grab his axe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because he went to like grab his weapon back off. Actually, he got his weapon back off the ground because I remember him having it in his hand. He turned back to you. You hit his leg. You tripped him, and as he tripped, you decapitated him while he was like falling, basically. And that was the end of the fight. It was like. It was like so back and forth. It could have been anyone's game, and like you were pretty low by the time. Like
I had 3 body left.
yeah, like 3, like one
hit, I would have been done.
One more hit
Yeah.
would have done it. Yeah. So it was crazy.
That was great.
Which was awesome.
And I had another really great duel, but we'll talk about that later in the day because it was right towards the end.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was really cool. I don't remember there being like particularly mod content that I remember like after that on Saturday.
Not before
The pirate ship
yeah.
was kind of the next thing.
Yeah, I think that was the next thing because I like
Yeah.
Ghost Wolf right after.
Yeah, you came back from your NPC shift and then you Ghost Wolf.
Well, yeah, Ritual, and then I was like, you know what? That was too much sitting around. Wolf.
I'm gonna be a Ghost Wolf.
I'm gonna be a Ghost Wolf.
So she did her like shaman thing to turn into the Rite of Vision to turn into her spectral wolf.
Yep.
And we dicked around a little bit.
Yeah.
Like with her teasing people and what have you as she
Yeah.
does. And then it was like, well, the first citizen has been kidnapped, you know, and we need to rescue them. And we were like, okay, cool, we'll go do that. So we get on a boat and we boat over to where the first citizen is like captured by pirates. And the description is like a high elven undead pirate crew is holding the first citizen, and I'm like, fuck, because the high elven undead pirate crew has got to be like Maddie's people, right? Like I don't know if anybody remembers Maddie these days, but my old character who I retired became a parlor lich pirate high elf, and then captain of the pirate high elves. And then lots of necromancy stuff happened, and apparently now she's like admiral of the undead pirate high elves because this ship she wasn't on this ship, but her girlfriend was the fucking captain. Her current like girlfriend was like the captain, played by Rebecca, who was like so good. You know,
Rebecca
like,
was amazing
she's
all
really good.
weekend.
During that, okay, I gotta talk about the fight first
Yeah.
because I gotta but some stuff that happened during that fight was
Yeah.
really funny. Like it made up for some of the mechanical
Yeah.
like fuckery. So the way we had to deal with this fight was there was water between the boats and a plank, like a gangplank that we had to like walk to get onto their boat.
Or we just get yeeted across.
Or people could like with strength or whatever, but like basically we had to get onto their boat, get the first citizen, and get back to our boat.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept respawning while we were on their boat, like more pirates and shit. Excuse me. There's a combination of like undead and high elves. I think there was like some living high elves. I
was
couldn't
a
tell the difference, so I was just I was just plowing them like they were all undead, which
I'm pretty sure they were
probably is bad.
like the masked ones were wraiths or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
anyways.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, it was difficult. Like, they had so many debilitating abilities. Frostbite is bullshit. Frostbite once is okay. Frostbite, like, you know, being like, oh shit, I'm disabled and I gotta warm my hands up and I drop my weapons and like all that shit. It's fine, but not when it happens every like 3 fucking seconds, which was every time I engaged in a fight. Frostbite, shield magic, frostbite.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Every time I engaged in a fight with any of those undead. Or cower, shield magic, cower.
Yeah.
Which, in a hall where I can't break line of sight, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know? So Frostbite and Cower are bullshit abilities that you need to be really careful with, especially in a hall. And it was a very, very tough fight. I was swinging 11s at the undead, and I had to hit them like 50 times before they fell over. Cold Dead Hands does not work for Frostbite because Frostbite is specifically a disarming effect, and Cold Dead Hands only works for things where you would drop your weapon because you're unconscious.
Yep.
So I lost a lot of Psy Blades. I used 3 Discord Catalysts to summon new Psy Blades during that fight because I needed to hurt the undead, and I couldn't do it any other way.
It sucked especially because I was one of the high damage people as well because I was swinging like
and then just frostbite
8s,
your ass.
and like every other time I engaged an enemy, I get frostbitten and we did drop. Yeah,
it really sucked.
And I ended up losing one of my swords in the sea.
Yeah,
from like an old friend of mine who retired his PC. I lost that sword. Then I lost the fucking
cool dagger.
The bone dagger that I had ripped out of a freaking draconian at war.
It was a brutal.
It was a
mod.
slog.
It was a brutal mod, and I don't really know how we won it, but we got
Wasn't
the
it
first
because of
citizen.
Siobhan?
Yeah, Siobhan divine warded the first citizen off the boat.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I ran over the first citizen because
she's a gargoyle, by the way, like a stone person, and she's like the sort of leader of the North Korea of Zenithstrand. Sortestead is like everybody has a purpose and a purpose for everyone, and praise the first citizen for she is wise and awesome.
Yeah. And so Iman goes over because the first citizen is like tied to the bow of the ship like a figurehead, and completely impassive, just like staring at everyone with judgment in her eyes.
Yeah.
So it was. So I asked, like, when we were describing this thing, it's like, currently I'm right now a spirit wolf. I don't think I breathe. Do I drown?
And they're like, no, you don't drown.
Yeah. So I was like, cool.
So she could go across the water at will, basically.
Yeah, I was basically able to swim.
Yeah.
Like, I think if people have craftsmanship.
If you have craftsman sailor, you got an extra minute.
Yeah.
Basically, to your
Because the effect was basically for the first minute you're in a bleed count as you're like floundering, and then after that you're in death. Basically.
Yeah. The trade-off for like Ghost Wolf is that I can like swing weapons, so I can hurt people, but I can't physically interact with the world.
Yeah.
So I can't pick up items. I can't take like loot tags. I can't really I can't break people out of things. I can just swing. I can just like spectrally slap people around, but can't do much else. I could also cast magic. So I go over there. I see her tied up, so I can actually access her because like I can get behind the line because I can just like walk up from the water. I go up to her and she's like, just kind of like does the thing where she's like wiggles her hands behind her where she's tied up. So she's just like, that's it, wiggling them like that. I'm like, phasing through restraints 1, phasing through restraints 2, and just like I see this like the impassive look of like slight disappointment, like slight judgment, useless. Like, how dare you waste my time with trying to rescue me? And then I'm like, strength of the bear, scurry away. So she's now stronger, so maybe she can like break out of her restraints herself. And then like she does, and I come back, but they like have webbed her in a corner now, so now she can't break out. Sorry, she can break out, but they keep on interrupting her whenever she tries. So that was like partway through the fight, so I'm like, all right, what can I do to help her? Because I tried to like distract them, but they're paying too much attention. Like I couldn't like get them away, so I just ran over there, and I like put a divine ward down, which is it pushes everybody out who doesn't have a blessing of Sybil.
Like an AoE pushback.
Yeah. who doesn't have a blessing of Sybil, or it would cost you like a magic resist to get out of there. And the first citizen didn't have any of those at the time, but they're cocooned. So I bought that. So she starts breaking out, and then I get charged by like some gigantic undead who starts saying resist magic. So I cast it again. He says resist magic. Cast it again. Says resist magic. I cast it the 4th time. And he's like, crap. The first citizen breaks out, and she's like, yeah, yoink!
So she breaks out of the web, and then Divine Ward pushes her off the boat, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like into the ocean.
So she's drowning.
Yeah.
But she's off the boat. So
Yeah.
then I think people...
What I did after that, I
Yeah.
saw her, like, land in the water, and I, like, sprinted over to the gangplank and, like, jumped in to, like, grab her so that I could then reach, like, and pull her out, like, to the other side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But people got stuck on the boat, and it was all our people because we're all the frontline people.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had to, like, I'm on the boat, like, safe away, and I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, Psyblade, like,
Yeah, because I got stuck and killed in a
Yeah.
corner.
get the fuck back on the boat, like, start strengthening people, like, off, and then I died, because, like, I ran into a crowd of fucking enemies,
Yeah.
and, of course, and they, like, kicked my carcass off the boat.
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't like this entire time, like... Rebecca playing Maddie's girlfriend captain was like just hurling insults.
Yeah.
And like...
Yeah, she was playing a death rogue, so she had, like, nausea
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
body hits. I had a cleanse, thankfully, so I could, like, magic cleanse. But she at one point I squared off with her, and she's like, I will give you one chance to surrender because you're pretty. Like, and I was like, oh yeah, I get it, because, like, I play the captain.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. It's funny.
And stuff like that. And eventually, like, at the end, when it was like, okay, we got the first citizen, and, like, they've got some of our stuff, and, you know.
Well, freaking Cade. So we were like... So... so he's died really recently, so, and Amon knows, and like Cade's kind of been like walking one foot in the grave the entire time he's been around. Yeah. And he's like keeps on talking about like his adoptive daughter who's recently passed away, and he's just kind of like looking at her thing, like her
She was an assassin, and she
Yeah.
had a garrote that I end up
Putting,
carrying
like, under
it
your bracer.
under my bracer strapping, so
Yeah.
it's always like right here.
Yeah, and every idle moment he's just kind of like looking at it, and Amon's like, ugh, there's still things left in this side of life. So he's down, and Amon's like, I don't know when he fell down. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes over, and she like I start like I'm a wolf, so I start like just like making like the most pitiful whining noises to try and get people's attention.
Yeah, that's when I had to run back across that fucking gangplank and die. It's really fun.
Yeah, because well,
Those undead were super fun and balanced. I really loved that mod.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the particularly tricky thing was they also threw like, so they had the nausea, they had the frostbites that were like
There's
coming
a
out
lot
of
of
nowhere,
debilitating shit.
and then
like,
they also had nature casters,
yeah.
Yep. Cowers.
and cowers, and it's just like,
Well, and also like a vector for us to get to the boat where we had to go like one at a time across.
yeah,
like,
and people would get stuck.
Yeah, there was
because
just,
they get like cocooned,
like
and it's
the-
like you can't get them out.
like the
or-
movement was really like.
In hindsight, there would have been a better way to do that. Whereas if we had gotten more people with strength bonuses to throw
To
people
like
across
cannonball,
as people were
cannonball
crossing,
people across.
Yeah.
like it could have been done better. But it's like hindsight's 2020.
I would like
Yeah.
to state first into the breach once again, my motherfucking self. People are like, okay, we have to cross this gangplank. I'm like, someone has to be first.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Carradine got thrown over, and then I got thrown over.
Yeah.
And then
I
chaos.
had my shield in. Oh no, I didn't have my shield. I had forgotten the shield.
you just
so
had
I
your
just
side
my
blades, I
side blade.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, so there was Cade in a corner, there was Carradine in the back, there was Rivalin and then Fee, like there, just like, and I was like, no, I can't drag them back! I can't do anything!
Yeah,
So
we-
helpless!
But everybody ended up surviving. Like, people got kicked into the water, and we, like, pulled them out with staves, and, you know, like...
I
various
used,
other
like,
things.
so many spells.
Yeah, and I mean, so did I. Like, I played
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
plus Discord Catalyst, like,
Yeah.
I used a lot. My magic is pretty useless against the undead, but I can swing hard.
Yeah.
So that was kind of it. Unfortunately, I had used my ritual, like, conjuration, to do the stuff with the cannon, because I thought there'd be, like, more defenses. So I remember poking you as an NPC with it a couple of times, like, get the fuck away from this control.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away from this control panel. You know,
Uh-huh.
like, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because Frostbite I would have had to drop it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brutal mod. It felt like they had 1,000,000 frostbites. Like, I got hit like 7 times, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, well, and it's also one of those things where it's like, I don't know if people could, like, it was like, I don't know how long it would have taken if I wasn't able to, like, sneak over there and, like, shortcut the mod.
I don't know if we could have done it.
Yeah,
No.
because we couldn't break the line. We couldn't break the line.
We couldn't get through, and they respawn very quickly.
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of that much CC. I'm also not a big fan of every time I use a defense, the NPC just pops another version of the ability and just hits me with it again. That shit feels so shitty.
It's like what's the point of having a defense?
Well, like,
then?
I get it in PvP,
Yeah.
right? If
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in PvP and you double body execute me, I'm never gonna complain,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But this isn't PvP. This is like some undead that I'm fighting. You know what I mean? And like, I don't even get a chance to like reapply or fucking do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just frostbite. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Right.
it's also one of those things where it's like, how to put it? It's like,
I'm okay with losing. Don't get me wrong.
oh no, I'm
it
okay.
just
I'm
was
okay
not
with,
a great way to do it.
there's a certain amount of kind of like knowledge that you have to forget when you're playing an NPC. Like, you have to remember that you're playing someone who's never seen this person before. You don't know their tricks, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you start to like see that person, like, cool, that person fights this way. I know that they rely on like, for example, like this specific like trick. So I'm going to take that trick away from them and then move on to the next person. Like, that kind of NPCing it's not great.
But anyway, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Nobody died. Like, the player base did not suffer from the mod being fucking painful. We lost some stuff, which sucks, and I'm sorry about that.
It is what it, well, the nice thing is it seems like there might be possibilities
to get it back
for you guys to regain it if I'm not back in town.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Like, if we can get it back, we'll get it back.
See what happens.
But so that mod was pretty rough, and I remember after that, you and me were outside just like, because we both like put in so much fucking effort. It was warm in there, like.
We just walked out. And
we
just,
walked
like,
out into like the
steam.
minus 25, like fucking steaming. Yeah, like
Yeah.
dying. But we got the first citizen out. Did it?
Yep. And then you and me were just like, "Fuck this, let's go back to the cabin."
I think I went to bed.
Yeah, you went to bed directly after that.
And by I went to bed, I mean I just passed out.
Yeah.
Like, I was so tired and like so stressed about future stuff. And
Yeah.
like, I was just like really keyed up, so I just kind of like flopped. Why rescue a dictator is a good question, and I'm gonna address that because that makes sense. Like, why did we rescue the first citizen?
Yeah.
She's an asshole.
Yeah.
It is because we need allies against the Church of Light in this coalition, and she has some very powerful fighters called the Stonewalls, who would be great, like, stalwart Gargoylin that would fight with us. And also, her nation doesn't know what to do without her. Like, they are lost and confused and like, completely fucked. They're primed for takeover. So it was more like, we'll deal with, you know, the evil we know rather than not.
And in terms of like, I don't know that that Sword of Stead mass murders people.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
It's not as bad. It's just the best analog that I have.
Yeah,
right? My real takeaway from that mod was the afterwards that Tammy plays the best first citizen, just like fucking out. She's like the most imperious, like, well, you're gonna introduce me, like talking to her lieutenant, and you're like, introduce me to the people who saved me, and he's like, I don't know who exactly was them, you know, and like, she, like, brings her over and we like introduce, and she's like, I'm the first citizen, thank you for your assistance, like, where are my people, like, what has happened, give me an update, like, very like, you know, snap, like, I am important, tell me what I need to know, kind of shit, while also trying to be like, you know, like,
it's probably a much better thing that you and me walked away then, because I can't stand people like that.
Yeah. I don't, like, I mean, she came and, like, talked to us a little bit while we were in the tavern, I think.
I never.
Maybe you weren't there.
No,
I like
must
went
not
and
have
sat
been there.
down in the tavern for a little bit, and she like came over and we had a little conversation.
Mm.
But I had no information to give her because I hadn't been keeping track of like sort of dead shit. So.
Yeah.
And then I passed out for like 3 hours. I swear it must have been like at least 3 hours because I passed out while it was still the sun was still going down.
Oh, yeah, and that's when we did the like savage moot thing.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah. So Juder had called a savage moot, which is basically like a bunch of like people who follow the savage gods or the Tree of Light to like come together and have a talk, I guess.
Which I think ended up being pretty much Sybil and Orion.
Spharen, yeah. Sybil and Orion, because that's who was nearby.
Yeah, I think that was basically it. And Hope obviously was there because it was in her cabin. And also Hope there for the tree. So.
Yeah.
It
was mostly like an update and be like a reiteration of like, yeah, screw Ixiad and screw Nidhogg in particular.
It was just like news from the.
Oh yeah, it was me updating everyone about how I killed the currently, as far as we know, the only Braun Draconian in existence a couple weekends back.
Like a badass.
Like a badass.
Yeah.
Went toe to toe for 2 minutes while the rest of my camp got rallied because they've been on a 4-hour slog mod. Like not 10 minutes before Buddy decided to pop up. So.
Yeah. I feel like.
Wait, so it was just like an update meeting, basically.
Yeah, there's
anything
a bit
dramatic.
There's a bit of drama because Iman is dramatic. Where they're talking about like, oh, and also the wisp. The wisp woke up.
Okay.
So just as like Juder's like doing the super serious lead up, like Carol pops in with a white headband and she's like, "Where's your wispo?" She like, you feel like he wakes up and she's just like, just then starts like going like, floating around and like interacting with the world because they're awake and like, screwing with Cade who has wisp PTSD.
So the reason that I have Wisp PTSD is because normally they're accompanied by things that will rip me apart in the bush.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like the wisp is cute, but it leads to things that will murder you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's why Mom has one.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it still survived. Is because it was yours and I knew it was yours.
Yeah.
So that just like some chaos in the meeting
Well,
with the wisp.
and Juder was like, for a little bit, and then like the wisp settled down and went back to sleep. And then the meeting started proper. Like I guess like there was like a bunch of the Sphäronites ducked out. Just because like some other thing came up and they're like, yeah, this is boring. We're just sitting here doing nothing. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, let us know if we're doing something.
Fee on the one bed.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and that was after like so Morgan, Fee's player,
really twisted her ankle.
Yeah.
Bad. We thought it had been broken for a little bit because she was in like a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But it seemed to get better. So.
Yeah, after she rested it for a while.
She's okay.
Yeah, but like that basically after that point she was out of game.
Yeah. Which sucks.
Yeah. So specifically about the acorn, Iman is like, there's this talk about like Ixiad has this like acorn from the Tree of Life, and there's talk about like how it must be recovered and like how all this other stuff, and we should all like try and gain as much information as possible. And Iman just is like coming in to say like, also though, we probably can't get it back, and it's never going to be the same. We can't, even if we make a deal with Ixiad in which Ixiad makes us believe that we're getting it back
she's
intact,
had it for too long.
Ixiad's gonna twist it, and like
Yep.
Ixiad's not gonna give it back to us without winning.
Yeah.
Like it's gone. It's in the hands of the dragon of demons, like who is like better at demon deals than demons. Like
False. Demons are the best at demon deals.
Oh.
Fuck Ixiad.
Okay,
Ixiad
sorry.
can suck a dick.
All
She's
right.
better at spiders. I'll give her that.
Okay. Yeah.
Confirm.
Okay. I apologize to any witches in the audience.
I'm just saying, demon princes are much cooler. Dragons are mortal. Demon princes are not.
It's true. They have a plane.
I mean, you can kill a dragon. You can't kill a demon prince unless you go to hell and do it. Good luck with that.
So
Dragons are more powerful.
Some.
Yeah, it depends on the dragon.
Yeah. And then there was like some talk back and forth about like, is there like unity that can be found within us? And like, Amon and Orion
Is
were
there
like,
unity that can be found within us?
Amon and Orion were like,
And then there was mention of Haldora, and we're all just like, no.
Fuck that bitch.
yeah. Yeah, so it's like, cool, we can all agree to like murder the crap out of these Decronians and like share information about the Acorn.
Also murder Haldorans, right?
Well, I mean,
yes.
what did Kieran said, like, none of you are going to stop me from doing this.
Yeah.
It was kind of, we just agreed to not stop.
That sounds a lot like the Wild Elf meeting a little later. Where
Yeah,
it's
a little
like,
bit,
you
right?
guys should make friends. I will never make friends.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the meeting.
That was the long and short of it, more or less.
yeah.
It was getting everyone on the same page over at least 2
Yeah.
guilds / 3,
Yeah.
so...
There were some new players around, so that was cool to kind of
Yeah.
like
Big lore dump on them.
Big lore dump, and kind of like they're asking some questions about like so what are dragons and stuff like that. So like
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool to like
Also, praise new players. Hype for you.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of new players, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up after that, and then found you guys, and I don't
Yeah.
remember anything specifically happening that like needed my attention.
I think I was just about to try and wake Rivalin's animal.
And then we got called in for the
Yeah, and immediately while I started, someone knocked at the door, and then
it was
Riv-
Harrow, yeah.
Yeah, and Rivalin was like,
Like
"Guess I'm
Henry.
going into this without half my soul."
Yeah. So this Vespin, this very severe Vespin warrior, is at our door, and I find out that like out of game, it's Harrow, who is the twin of the leader of the current gen Vespin. Basically.
Yeah.
Played by Drew.
And he did it really well.
Oh.
He's so good. He's like a great warrior face. Like,
Yeah.
very stern, very severe, very serious. And he says like the meeting's happening, like we need to go. So we
Yeah.
get all our shit and we go to the meeting. And basically this meeting is set. It's set in the gym, but the lights are off and there's a table in the middle of the gym with like fairy lights on it. And it's super dark, and there's like wild elves sitting around the table from the various factions. And we walk in, and like I sit down, and Drew sits down, and they're like, anyone who wants a voice, like you have to sit. Like you can't talk from the
stand
background.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to speak, you gotta sit.
Yeah.
And it was like atmospheric as all hell. Like it was super cool.
Yeah, like so all the NPCs had like their poses.
Yeah.
And like
Corey was doing like the best like sprawling, take up as much space as he could, like fat vulture. Like it was so good.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
corpulent like
And Clark was just like, I'm gonna probably die.
yeah,
yeah.
the
So
thorn
fucking-
the thorn was like, I've made my peace with this, I'm here.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
Yeah. The like hemlock?
The hemlock was Ryan. Yeah, Ryan's
Ryan. The nightshade?
The
The nightshade was
Nightshade.
like very intent.
Yeah, intent, like sitting there like kind of like
And then Arthur is...
So we had representatives from the crow, the hemlock, the nightshade, the thorn, the vulture,
Jack.
and the jackal. Because Feverfew was at the table. He sat next to fucking the Vespin.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
It was like,
Oh, it was amazing.
we were like dagger staring him the whole time. So the
Yeah.
jackal was there. And Thalon was there with the crow representative.
and then also
Siren sat
Siren
down
sat
later,
down.
and so did you.
yeah, well I sat down partway through the
Did she sit down partway through? Or did
No,
she
she
first
sat down at the
Yeah.
beginning.
I honestly
Yeah.
was shitting my pants too much to like
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
pay attention to anything.
No, like Siren's like sat down with her bow, and
Next
like
to
in the back of
Thrawn.
my head, in the back of my head, there's like this little moment of like out of game Siobhan going like, "Yeah, so cool for that character," and as Amon was like going,
So me
stress."
and Drew sat down. So Drew's like warrior as the representative of like the Vespin, and then me as the representative of us and
Yeah.
like the Vespin
And
in general.
It was even more fun because as the meeting went on, I was standing from behind you and Drew to casually moving behind the jackal.
Behind Feverfew,
And
yeah.
Feverfew knew I was there, and I was just like, do something, just do it,
So-
just do it.
So to give you context for this meeting, because it is important to know the context, we had been accused of doing a whole bunch of terrible shit. We had killed jackal children, we've consorted with witches, and we stole a piece of their prized, like, grove.
Yeah.
The,
Well,
the
those
grove
are-
of Koa.
Those are the
That's
accusations.
what they accused us of. One of those is true. We did kill a shit ton of jackal children. But
Yeah.
that was because they're necromancer scum, and I don't regret it. I think I said that in the meeting. I was like,
You totally.
I was like,
Yeah.
if I could do it again, I would do it again. Their
Yeah.
culture is a culture of corruption and necromancy,
Yeah.
and I will never forgive them.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But so it's dead quiet. Meeting starts. Archer's playing the crow representative, and
Who's like chairing?
he's sort
the
of
meeting.
chairing the meeting. Yeah, and like directing the meeting. We get right into it. It's like the jackal talks about their accusations. You know, the
Yeah.
Feverfew talks about their accusations towards the Gen Vespin and like the things that have been happening.
Mm.
And then I get to talk next. And I think I literally said like, "You're all scum. You should die." And he tried to interrupt me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You shut the fuck up until I'm done." You know, like
Yeah. Like I sat
waited.
through.
I waited for you. You better wait for me to finish. You know, and like we did that whole thing, and then the council was like, "Yeah, shut up." You know.
Yeah.
It was Archer being like, "That's fair."
So I basically like reamed him out as my first action. You know what I mean? Like the first thing I got to say was basically like, the jackal are scum. I'll kill them wherever they are, and that will never stop.
Yeah.
Like the end.
Yeah.
Like, point. Done. And I have no remorse.
Mm.
And I didn't mention they're not kudzu, so I don't care.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
nobody else brought it up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
If they'd been like, well, why are you killing elf children? I'd be like, why do you give a shit?
Yeah.
You know, would be
Yeah.
my like next question.
Yeah.
But
But they
so-
clearly did not really.
They didn't care.
Yeah.
So I said all this stuff. I had my piece, and then Thalon spoke after, and I thought he was gonna be like, "Yeah, fuck you, necromancers."
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? And go in on Feverfew with me. But instead, he turned on me and started accusing me of hypocrisy and bringing up some ancient history that I don't know how he knew, but all this other kind of stuff. He just brought up a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, cool, so we're mudslinging at me now. All right, sweet deal. I'm not gonna do the same back because this is a council meeting and not a fucking argument.
Yeah.
But cool. Okay, I know where you stand. Good. Was my thought process.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, sure. And so the thing continued, and if I tried to tell you everything that happened, it was a blur to me because I was talking
Yeah.
and I was paying such deadly attention to everything
yeah.
that was happening that I can't recall it now. You
Well,
know what I mean?
and every single all of the NPCs who walked into that meeting, and all of the PCs as well, because there's also the fire elves who were there.
yeah, the fire elves
Yep.
were there too.
Because
They were accused of doing some bad shit
that
we also did.
that we also did, which was
Yeah,
yeah.
you want me to?
yeah.
do it?
No, I'll jump in when it's ready.
One of the things that we were accused of doing is destroying the daughter of Koa, as in the lead head vampire of the Thorn Tribe, which we definitely fucking did. We yeeted her coffin into a fire while she was in it.
She was not in it.
She wasn't it.
I thought.
Oh yeah. While
I
she
think
was
I
in
heard
it.
she was
Sorry.
in it.
Yeah. While she was in it. You're
She
right.
was in
That's
it
the way
because
it
she
works.
turned to ash.
Yeah. Because we killed her henge first, so she was inside it, kind of
Regenerating, and then so we got accused of that, and then
And the fire elves.
the fire elves were the ones who orchestrated the plan.
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. Well, the fire elves were the ones who were like, hey, there's this other plan. And Iman was like, you should totally do that plan. Please do that plan. I want to help you do this plan. Instead of relying on Feverfew's idea of I'll save her with time magic and we'll go back in time and change how everything happened.
Yeah, trust the necromancer to want to fuck with his past mistakes, right?
Yeah.
We didn't want to give him that chance, so we killed her.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I mean not me. I sat at a fire and did
I
nothing.
wasn't even there.
I just had to talk about it like I was there.
I was 2 or 3 provinces away.
The really funny part about the whole thing was we got accused of that, and I'm like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
And come at me, Thorn. You know,
Yeah.
But so the meeting continued. We talked about that, and it resolved with well, nobody cares. You know, like, their fighting is irrelevant. Like, you can fight if you want to. Basically, is kind of what came out of it. Then we talked about Daughter of Koa. And that also kind of was like, well, the Thorn are weak now.
Yeah. There's a bit of a debate about, like, the nature of necromancy.
The nature of necromancy,
and that's kind of when, like, Iman was like, yeah,
because you sat down pretty soon after.
The Nightshade asked me if I wanted to sit down, kind of thing. I didn't say anything, and then I was like, yes, I would, and then I sat down, kind of thing, and then I kind of, like, because a lot of this, like, the drive for the, like, our little group against necromancy is mostly coming from Enhelene and Iman. It's
like 100% coming from you, because I would be doing it if you weren't around.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy to act like I'm a zealot, but I'm not. Like, I will happily engage with the darkest of dark things and laugh. But these guys, you know, I gotta take on their morals as my own because I do the speaking. You know?
So Iman was kind of, like, explaining, like, why there was no way that, like, the Daughter of Koa was gone anyway, kind of thing.
Like, she was already corrupt by thousands of years of being a vampire.
Like, you can't undo that.
You can't undo
like,
that corruption.
There's no way.
And that death was kinder.
Yeah.
And that messing with time is I got to this with the Thorn later. I talked about, like, how if you wanted to fuck up your whole timeline, he'd change everything. He'd make it so he never made a mistake.
Yeah.
And that is a cheat for you and an escape from punishment for him.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to, like, avoid like having to eat the consequences of making his best friend into a monster. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing. But that's later. So we had this conversation. The Thorn got voted out of their position of strength, basically, because they had become weak because the Daughter of Koa had been killed, the Grove had been destroyed.
They lost a bunch of their vampires.
Who were the
core of their power.
They're like a lot weaker. So they got voted out of the, like, official kudzu position.
Yeah.
Which is like they lose their seat on the council, sort of thing. And then there was talk about who's going to take that seat on the council.
Yeah.
And they basically said, like, the Jackal are the obvious choice. Like, these guys. And I'm like, fucking necromancers.
Yeah.
But they're like...
Well, and also, like, the Vespin, like, they kind of, like, opened the opportunity for the Vespin to step forward, and then they're like, nah. Why would we say this?
Well, the other thing is, like
we
do not have the authority to present ourselves in that way.
We also don't have the authority, but also kind of, like, looking at people, it's like, the vibe I got from this council meeting and all the other people talking were like, they also said, like, yeah, you can be kudzu, but if you can't hold territory, you're worthless. So it's like, what we say here doesn't matter.
So what it shook out to be was, yes, Jackal, we accept that you could be kudzu, but you need to hold the territory the Thorn have failed to hold. You need to take it from them and own it.
And then the Thorn were like, to hell with them, we'd rather have the Vespin.
Like, we'd rather the Vespin would have our territory.
Which is such a statement, because it was really interesting, because I didn't know what the Thorn's attitude would be coming into the meeting. And the Thorn's attitude, I think, was, like, the Daughter of Korra was ours, and we still have never forgiven the Jackal for taking her from us.
Our ancient hatred of the Jackal tribe is worth more than our momentary hatred of you for fucking us up.
Yeah. For, like, you might have ended... Or, like, we were holding on to her, and maybe that was wrong, maybe that was right, but we did it. You screwed that up. We're still mad at you.
Yeah.
But you only did it because they came back, kind of thing. And
I do like happened. That I was like, all of this problem started when Feverfew woke up.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like, coincidence isn't causation.
Correlation is not
correlation is not causation. I'm like, yeah, but it's not a coincidence either.
Yeah.
Like, but so we waited to the end of the meeting, and then I said, like, you know, if merit is what you want, then, like, we'll get merit as well. And they're like, you're more than welcome to show us, you know, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Harrow had also promised them to, like,
kill a bunch
cut
of
through
Citadel.
Church of Citadel.
Yeah. So we've got that to do, but that's secondary.
Yeah.
Basically, the meeting threw a big stake in between 3 starving dogs.
Yeah.
And said, whoever gets it, gets it.
Yeah.
Basically, like, the quote unquote.
Yeah.
The 3 starving dogs being the Jackal, the Thorn, and the Vespin. Right? Like, we all want the same thing, and we're all gonna fight for it. So the Vespin are officially at war with the Jackal. It is a war now. Like, it's not just It's not just our swarm killing Jackal because they're necromancer scum. It is a war for territory and a war for, like, position.
Yeah.
Which means that all of the Vespin in the region, including the NPC Vespin, are at war with the Jackal. You know, which is a huge deal. And so when the meeting ended, we went back to the cabin.
Oh, there was also Ashen stuff?
Oh, the Ashen stuff, yeah. So they had to determine, like, the punishment for the fire elf who orchestrated the death of the daughter of Koa.
But honestly, like, they didn't really care. They're just like, there's a fire elf before us. We're going to flex on them.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
They basically just went, like, here's your punishment.
Yeah.
And he ended up in service to the local Crow tribe.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like as a punishment because it's service to other PCs, and I did not think that was a good way to handle that at all.
Yeah.
It should have been service to the Crow NPCs.
Yeah.
Or service to the Thorn.
Who that have wrong. Yeah.
You know, like, there are a bunch of other ways that could have gone. Giving him to PCs was a terrible plan. I don't like it because I don't know if he likes it, right? And that's the whole problem.
Yeah.
Like, you can't force someone to work with people that maybe don't want to. But I don't know how that worked out, for, like, necessarily, so I'm not gonna sort of wax poetic on that. But in that meeting, Thalan had basically brought up some ancient history that is a reason that he might want to kill me. So I came out of that meeting going, okay, we might have to fight.
Oh yeah, and also, like, the way that they came after, like, Iman too after she sat down with like a whole bunch of stuff about, like, how dare you, you're like,
it was like,
how dare you play the moral card, you're terrible.
They really wanted to make it personal with us.
Oh yeah, and like, we just kind of like did, like, yo, this is, you want my rationale? I'll give you my rationale.
Cool.
Do you have anything else to say? Like,
well,
we're wasting the time of the council?
The council literally was like, this is beneath us, please shut up, basically, like, at one point.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we ended the meeting with that all shook out, and we went back to the cabin, and we immediately talked about what our game plan was going to be.
Yeah, and we rallied up with the people who weren't at the meeting, who were, like, for example, like, Hope and, like...
The matriarch.
Yeah. Orion slides back into our DMs.
The matriarch was after, because we talked to Harrow first.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We had the Thorn conversation first.
Yeah.
Harrow had left, and the matriarch came shortly thereafter.
Yeah, so Harrow came back with us, and we talked about our war game plan, and I said...
Yeah.
Oh,
can I just,
no, of course.
Like, the atmosphere as we all left the gym was intense.
Dramatic.
We traveled in a pack, and we were just looking over our shoulders the entire time.
Yeah, like, it was like, you have like, the accusations and the things that were levied across here is just like, oh, you want us dead.
Yeah.
Like, you're siding, like, they were, like, the PC Crow sided with the Jackal over us and tried to position the Jackal in a position that was above the Vespin kind of thing, being like, oh, the Jackal are also friends with these really powerful casters.
That is the way it shook out. That's the way it looked.
That's the way it looked. No, I'm just talking about in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh crap. So this is, and we're at war with them.
We were setting up to bunker down.
We were setting up to, like, so we came back. I think I threw up the monolith right away.
Yeah.
And then we had not right away.
No,
Not
you
why.
waited until we went to bed.
Yeah, I waited until we went to. I waited until until we went to bed, and what's his name?
Harrow.
Harrow was away.
So I talked to Harrow, and I was like, here's our war plan. Like, here's what we should do.
Well, sorry. The first thing he did is he came back and he said, I think that went well.
Yeah, we got into the cabin. I'm like, that went well for us. Here's how it went well.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was kind of confusing.
That went well for us. Here's how it went well. Now we're at war. You know, like, and it's like, war is good because there are 3 starving dogs, and 3 is an uneven number. And I know the Thorn hate the Jackal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make an alliance with the Thorn, and we're gonna push the Jackal out. We're gonna kill them all, and then we'll deal with the Thorn Vespin tension after. Yeah. Right, like, because they hate them as much as we hate them.
Yeah.
So
like our hatred is not an existential hatred.
No.
Like.
So immediately I was like, we're gonna make an alliance with the Thorn. We are gonna push the Jackal out. We are going to kill every single last one of them, and there will not be a Jackal at that next meeting. Yeah. Basically, it was like the like thing that we said.
Well, except for the suggestion, we could bring him along.
Yeah, severed head, like
in his seat.
But so
that took some back and forth with Harrow to
So Harrow was like, but I made this promise to kill a bunch of Citadel, and we could claim that territory back. And I'm like, yeah, but we can do that after. Like, if the Jackal are dead, the Citadel are no worry. You know, like, not concerned about killing round ears.
And also just, like, the the terms of like if you want like the respect of the tribes around here, if we kill
to fight
round
for it.
ears, we're just going to like build up respect over thousands of years. And I'm like, that doesn't feel to me like
We need it now.
we need it now. And it's also just like if the Vespin like historically have always like postured and been like, no, we're the strongest because we need to be. We have a little bit of territory, but that is ours, kind of thing. And it's just like, we need to make that dramatic motion, or else we don't exist in the same way.
We also don't go to war very often.
Yeah.
Like, we hold territory and that's it.
Yeah,
So the fact that we're, like, mobilizing to kill something is, like, exceptional. So eventually we back and forth with Harrow, and he seemed to, like, get the idea. He was going to talk with the Elder Shaman and, like, figure stuff out. But he sent me as an emissary to the Thorn to go in and have the authority to make that alliance, like, right away.
Yeah.
So I wasted no time. Within half an hour, I was back in plot camp.
You and me busted
Yeah.
out the door
Oh, yeah,
and just
yeah,
like
like-
speed walked to NPC camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while you did that, I was like, cool, now let's get Revelin his soul back.
Yeah, so you guys were doing that while
we were dealing with that.
And I was talking to the Crow representative, who was easy to find because he was looking for us too.
Crow? The Thorn?
The Thorn.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay.
meant. The Thorn
I was gonna be
representative
like, this changed suddenly.
because he was easy to find because he was looking for us too.
Yeah.
And I had the whole conversation that was like, we need to be friends. And he's like, well, there are those among my brethren who want to take vengeance on the Vespin, for stuff. And I'm like, and that vengeance, I understand. And that vengeance can be colder. Like, we can wait until the Jackal are dead. Feverfew is your real issue. He's the one who, like, brought all this back up. He's the one who fucked you over to begin with. And he's the one who wanted to erase his mistake from history and change your past. He hates you, he doesn't care about you, and he never has and never will. And if you let him, he will take your territory and kill you all. So I'm offering that we work together to destroy them, and then we talk about our problem later. And I said some stuff, I can't remember exactly what I said, but Clark was like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it really worked. So he came out of it very positive. He's like, I have to talk to my brethren, and assess. I do not have the authority to make this deal, but I am for it. And I was like, cool. I do have the authority. Come and see me. And went away. Just like that kind of thing. So we made that deal. And then we were in the cabin, and we talked to the fire elves. So the matriarch came in, and I'm like, matriarch, what can I do for you? Sit down. She's like, I'm worried about Ashen, all that other stuff. And I'm like, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to get into the details because I don't want to. But you don't have to worry. We will take care of what is happening.
And
shake hands. We are allies. I will not betray you.
Yeah, and we kind of had it was really cool to have all the fire elves came in and all the Vespin came in, and there's Hope and Orion. So Orion slides back in. So Dan, who plays Orion, was the shaper who ran the Feverfew plot. So he disappeared to go on a walk, came back, slides in as Feverfew, and we're like, and then he comes back and's like, got back from my walk now, guys. What's up?
Yeah, it was pretty good. So I'm not gonna go into the details of the fire elf stuff because I don't want to talk about somebody else's story. But then we had a couple of knocks on the door where it was everybody knives out,
Me standing at the door with my sword pointing, it's like, I'm gonna light bolt the first thing that comes through this door that I don't recognize immediately.
Because we thought the Jackal had come after us, or the Leandrites maybe. We didn't know. So opening the door, the first time it was Orion, the second time it was Hope, and then the third time it was Tiki, and which is really surprising because we haven't really talked, And she's like,
we didn't see them at all before.
And you guys are like, Tiki's at the door, and I'm like, okay, well, let her in, And she comes in, and she comes over, and she's like, Thalan wants to talk to you, and only you, private conversation. And I'm like, is this private in that I am coming with you, and I'm going to be surrounded by your people, or you know what I mean? Kind of have that conversation. She's like, no, bring your people. It's just we're gonna stand aside, and we'll let you two talk it out. I'm like, cool. What kind of talk is this going to be? She's like, I don't know, politics. Kind of thing. She doesn't care. She just wants to stab things. And we're like, all right, cool. So I get up. I'm like, okay, like dust myself off, and we go to the tavern, and there's people like sitting in the couches
people
or
just
whatever,
like hanging out, having a time,
getting comfy in the couches, and we march in like there's some serious shit going on, and I'm like, we need this area, leave, and they're like, okay, I get off, like fucking leave, and I sit down and I wait. Thalon's like in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
He didn't expect us to get there as quickly as we did. And he comes out, and it's me and him sitting like next to each other in like the armchairs.
Yeah. Like, and then like as you're starting up, like Kieran, come with me. And we like do the patrol around the building just to make sure there's nobody lurking at doors.
Oh, you check the outside doors?
Yeah, just make sure there isn't like a crow ambush. Maybe like I don't know.
Sure.
Like who knows?
No,
like
like-
anything can happen right now. We're on alert.
Totally, we didn't know what kind of meeting we were
And
walking.
I was standing there within like 4 feet of Tiki and Thistlewood the whole time, and I could see it on their faces like nobody wanted to be here right
No.
now. We were all just.
And
so
honestly,
over
as
this.
soon as Thalon and I sat down, I knew it wasn't gonna be a fight. Like as soon as he sat down and we like locked eyes, I knew we were good. You know what I mean? Which is good because I didn't want to have to do anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we had a little conversation that was like, yeah, I went after you in that meeting, but I also want you to win, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
like my Crow Elder has told me that
Yeah.
they want you to win, which means that if you have anything that we can do, tell us and we'll do it in service of your war, basically.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is super cool because I've never had like a connection like that with the Leandrites. So
yeah.
it's like a little bit of like a negotiation that happened, and we talked about it and like had a whole heart to heart about it, and there was a whole like, you know, we have had this talk before, we have done these talks before, we need to be more open with each other and communicate more readily because there's tension that doesn't need to exist, basically. And we both agreed on that, and like it was about a half an hour of like Thalon and I talking, while everybody else was like standing
Oh, it
far
was
enough
just, like-
away that they couldn't hear us, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they didn't really know what was going on until it
Yeah.
was over. But there was like laughter from us, and like I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you realized fairly quickly
Like,
that it wasn't
okay.
a big deal.
Well, I knew walking into it that it wasn't going to be a fight, but I had to act just in case I was
Just in
wrong.
case,
I
yeah.
Yeah.
totally expected to fight.
Oh, really?
1,000%.
Damn.
While you were walking up the pathway with Tiki,
Yeah.
I was 2 feet behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
The
walked
whole
up. I
time.
walked up not worrying that she was behind me either. I was just like, okay, you know, like if that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Like me and Tiki, as far as I know, don't have beef.
No.
I don't think I have beef with really anyone in the Leander camp, but it's like I was still like really wired up.
Sure, you're
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
you're just like in that adrenaline zone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
But so we had a talk that was like, no, we're allies. Like we're good. You know, like if you need anything from us, we will help you, and likewise, like we'll try and negotiate some deals between us for like resources and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. It was a good talk. I do like having those talks because I get a lot of out of game stress playing the game, and that kind of talk where I know that I don't have shadowy enemies trying to stab me in the ass. Like I don't mind if it's NPCs who are shadowy enemies trying to stab me in the
Yeah.
ass, but with other PCs, it's so stressful, you know.
Yeah.
And like I'm just glad that that's not the way it is, you know. And I really hoped it wouldn't be. So yeah, the meeting stuff, I was like, well, why'd you come after me so hard?
Yeah.
And he was basically like, well, it was kind of my job. Like the Crow Elder told me to like dredge up anything on the Vespin like that I could. So I went after you, you know. And I was like, at some points in the meeting, I was like, well, you can come after me, but the Vespin themselves are blameless. Like,
Yeah.
I have lots of bad things in my past. But, and he did support us when in that meeting when we were like, the Vespin can take and hold territory.
Yeah.
And we will take and hold territory. He was like, I fucking agree. So
Yeah.
you know, it kind of worked out. It was and we had this little talk, and then it was over, and then we went to bed basically.
Yeah.
Or we were going to bed, and then we heard the Leandrites are assaulting
Hope's cabin.
Yeah, so I was standing outside on the porch having a smoke, and the Savar who had been staying in Hope and Orion's cabin came running on the path and like, the Leandrites are assaulting our cabin. And I'm just like, okay, open the door, be like, so this is going on.
I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like just getting into bed. I'm
Yeah.
like, God damn it. Like, pull my boots on, like, go out. And I walk down the path. You guys are already there. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, whatever it is at your assessment, I'm just going to give my point of view.
Yeah.
I walk down the path. I got to the end of the path, and Thalon's coming down the stairs of
Yeah.
the cabin. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, what the fuck why is everybody here?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? I'm like, what's happening? He's like, the Brafontian human. He called us savages while we were having our talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what this is about? Fucking kill him. And then I just left. Like, I just turned around like, I'm going to bed. Fuck that. I still went to bed. Like, I don't give a shit about this guy.
Yeah.
Like, if
It
it
was
were
just-
Hopo, it would matter, but I don't.
And that's
Yeah.
the reason that we all spurred, because literally, like, everyone in that cabin just jumped up
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, weapons drawn. We're just like, okay, what the hell's going on, man?
Yeah. So
We
like,
just had this talk.
like I was like, oh no, they didn't. Busted through the door because like the entire previous of the game, like Hope kept on like coming to me and being like, I keep on getting death glares from the crow. Like we were feeling this tension, and Hope was really worried because she's part of Iman's braid, incredibly close to the Vespin, and is not an elf.
And not an elf, yeah.
So that
So
means that
if there's any
yeah.
beef with us, she's a vulnerable target
Yeah.
that they can go after if they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I thought there was after we had that talk
Oh.
like 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. That's why like we were shocked and ready, but not like
Not like weapons up.
yeah.
sort of thing,
I didn't come into the room
Speak for
flinging
yourself,
packets.
I was up there with weapons. So
Oh no, I came up with
Oh,
weapons, but
I
I
had a
didn't.
sword.
I didn't come into the room being like identify target spell, identify target spell. I came into the target room being like, okay, where's Hope? Okay, conversation.
She's good, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's a little bit of like, her space is being disrespected because they're like coming in and attacking, but that's like less of a problem to me
Yeah.
than her safety.
Yeah, that's like okay, Hope.
I can't preserve
Yeah.
your cabin full of miscreants, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can preserve my cabin full of miscreants,
Yeah.
but not yours. You know,
Yeah, and it's like
kind of thing.
okay, you are not like under threat or under duress. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my response was like, somebody insulted me. Cool. You guys are dealing with it? You want me to deal with it? Because
Yeah.
You want me to kill him? No? All right, I'm going to bed. It's like my thing. I didn't feel like he needed extra intimidation. The Leandrites had already...
Oh, no.
The Leandrites had already done it. I just,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
He
the
was a
thing-
newer player too.
Yeah,
Well,
he
but that's
was
the
just-
idea,
yeah.
right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
give him a little bit of terror, right? Like, you shake him up a little bit.
Yeah, it was
Was it first game?
It was his
Yeah.
first game, and he
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
jeez.
after that, he was like so full of smiles. He's like, I kicked the hornet's nest, didn't
Yeah.
I? This is great.
Yeah. Because he's a Swearin guy, I think.
I don't know.
That tracks. with
But,
what I observed.
But anyway, so like that happened, and then we all went to bed. Saturday night was just like we all passed out after that.
I think it was probably 11 or midnight, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
like, but like we were so drained from all the
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I
the
did.
talks and the tension and shit.
Oh, I woke up Rivalin's animus.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, the last thing we did before sleeping.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, went over to Rivalin and all right, we're gonna do this. So I start to draw out his little creature, and like do the ceremony and give it to him. And so I decided on this on the drive up that like Rivalin was a hyena, like entirely. Like the character hunches over, piles furs, like fake furs on his back, like scrouches around and then straightens up to intimidate people and then scrouches down. He laughs at the most inopportune times and it's like has such a smile to him.
Yeah, it was a
And-
good choice.
Yeah, and he's also like, and then when he's like, every so often he's just like completely savage, and it's like, yeah, you've got like a hyena's bite as well, so it's like totally that. So I do the thing. He wakes up. There's like this really cool moment with him and his brother, and like everybody like kind of like welcoming back to like the braid that he was like not currently part of, and then he just kind of like looks at me and scurries outside, and I follow him, and he's like just like out of game. He's like, that was the perfect one. Like, that was the one that I actually also chose for myself.
I'm glad.
Like, we both independently had this assessment. This is so cool. And I was like, yes, I'm so glad you had this feeling. So that was really fun.
Yeah. That is really good.
That was
awesome.
I'm really glad
Yeah.
that people like really like that
Got
stuff.
a laughing boy now.
Laughing boy.
Yeah.
So we went to bed on Saturday, and I think our monolith actually protected us from a mob that was gonna come and hit us.
Oh, yeah, did it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard
Oh,
about it
yeah.
later. I'm not gonna talk about it because it's something you guys
Yeah.
are gonna have to deal with for a long
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Probably, but
Yeah, but something spooky was prevented by the monolith
it hit the
existing.
Crowland camp instead.
Well, we don't know any details.
Yeah.
I just know that there was something. Like the monolith did protect us from something.
Yeah.
So that, then Sunday morning, slow start, had some nice hot chocolate from the...
No, you woke up to go to the privy and...
Oh, right! Right.
You had something better than morning hot chocolate.
Yeah, I really did. Before the day even started, I stumbled out of bed, half dressed, and went to the privy to go and relieve myself. And I came out of the bathroom. I pushed the door open, and in the tavern in front of me are 5 ice elves. And they're just there, and other people are ditching out the back door. Whatever had happened, the little scuffle, or people being scared of these ice elves, and they started running out the back door. There's a couple of people still in the tavern, getting their shields up or whatever. But so there's 5 ice elves. I just pushed the bathroom door open. 5 ice elves. I'm like, cool. Or first of all, I create Psionic Blade, and I walk up. I've done my reset, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
So I've got all my spells, and I walk up to these guys, and they sort of acknowledge my existence and start turning around, and I'm just like, sleep, paralysis, sleep, and they're all unconscious. I put them all in the ground. And then I see Tamaru, in the back of the room.
Yeah.
And I look at Tamaru, and I go, they are all asleep or paralyzed. Deal with them. And I just walk out. just end the mod and walk away. I don't even care what happens to them. That's your problem. I was going to the bathroom and they interrupted me, So I just leave. Yeah, it's just
just brought out the side blade.
I like occasionally getting to channel that superior mage energy where I'm just you are not a problem for me. One of them hit me with an elemental tempest, but I had mage armor on, so or mage plate. So it's 25 damage. Mage plate is 30 armor, so it just went. So it worked out. I called shield magic, which you can't do against elemental. Yeah. So I wasted a shield magic. I actually had an advanced elemental shield because Tamara had given me one earlier, but I totally forgot about it at the time.
That happens.
But so anyway, then I walked back to the cabin, and we all got sort of ready for the morning. I think the only thing that happened was the spider mod, basically, on Sunday, right?
Yeah, there was a... What else? I think there's some conversations.
I got to find out Lur's secret to a happy life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this was another moment where Cade was, one foot in the grave, one foot the other on a banana peel, and decided to have life talks with Lur.
Lur's the ogre of Ba.
Yeah. So Lur's guide to a secret to a happy life is to have no friends and kill things.
Have no friends and kill everyone.
Yeah.
Kill everything.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, secret happy life. Have no friends, kill everything. Yeah. Yeah, I had a talk with Laura after the spider mod, but I'll talk about that one.
There was also the dwarf trading.
Oh my god. Yeah, we went back to the cabin to do Siobhan and Iman and I were back in the cabin doing something, and Ringlet kicks the door in basically and runs over to her bed and I swear to God takes her chest and just flips it and is I need stuff to trade.
So it's I need my gold.
You just hear the of gold everywhere. She scoops it all up. It was the most dwarf thing I've ever seen.
We forgot though the visit from the ogre brewmaster who lost her keg.
Where's my keg? Boom.
Which was played by the same PC.
Yeah.
I that was a brief fever dream for me because I was asleep.
That's fair.
I was asleep. She stuck her head in. She went, "Where's my keg?" It's not in here, and then closed the door. It's what the fuck. Yeah, but so we she got her stuff to trade, and what she was doing was she was trading for a legendary polearm. By a little bit of gold extra and making a legendary sword for something.
Yeah.
So it worked out. It worked out for her. We did some ritual trading as well. We got some new rituals, which is nice. Some enchantment stuff I might actually be able to use, which is cool. I haven't done any enchantment yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Shame glamours were out. That would have been nice. I have this book I've just been waiting to use.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get we also traded for the ability to for Kale Angels to show up.
Yeah, because you traded a summon angel scroll, and she's like, "Well, I can sell that real easy. Sell it to the Church of Light."
Yeah, just don't blame me when angels show up killing you. It's hey, hand delivered angels to kill. I like this. Win-win!
It's times when I'm glad I don't always live in Zenithstrand.
But anyway, that was just some bartering, and I don't want to get into it. But Sunday morning progressed pretty quietly after that. And then we got told that there's like the key to some ancient golem or something.
So while we were at the council mod, a golem came out that had like been previously acknowledged. That is that was created by someone by a high elf who was angry at the fall of Subant.
So it's basically like to kill not elves.
Yeah.
So it targets not elves the same way the Mordekaiser targets elves.
Which made me sad that it came out during the meeting, because I would have been sitting on the sidelines, and as long as they weren't my friends, I've been like, ha, 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 how's it feel?
Yeah, you better run.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's like this key that was gonna like control the golem or something. Or something, whatever. And we're like, cool, I need that. We need that. So they're like, well, some kobold miners like bust into a spider cave where the thing is. So you'll have to go through a spider cave to get them.
It was the Church of Light that actually sent cobalt sappers.
Yeah,
to
blow through the wall.
The wall into the.
So we went to this spider cave, like through the way the kobolds went. Yeah. And
it was just bodies everywhere.
Yeah, and we went in, and it's like the description was like there's a shit ton of spiders and lots of dead kobolds and Church of Light members who had like tried to come in and do this. So I love mods that are all spiders because I have animal affinity insects, animal affinity spiders because of Iman's shaman fetish that I have. So that gives me basically immunity to spiders because they won't attack. They treat me like a spider, basically. So I was like, well, the objective's over there. You guys are all here. I'm just going to go get it, okay?
Yeah.
So I walk across the room. The spiders are, like, chittering, like, looking up at me.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, like, active animal affinity spider. And they're all like, okay.
And you're muttering to them.
The dead kobolds are all around them. And I'm walking past the spiders. And I'm going, like, really good job killing these Church of Light. Really, really well done. And I'm, like, patting them on the shoulder.
It's like, you have so much food.
You've done so well for yourselves. You know, like, as I'm, like, walking past them. Just, like, saying some nice things to these spiders. So there's one spider that didn't twig to my game. Because they were a phase spider. They're like a magic spider, not like a regular spider. So they were suspicious of me. But the rest of the town had like pushed in.
Yeah.
And there was like too much going on otherwise. So I managed to sort of like skirt everything. And I got to the back and there's a guy wrapped in like full webbing. And I can see the key, like he's holding it, like in the webbing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't loot count it. Like
it's inside.
It's in the web. You need to get it out. And I'm like, cool. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be 8 minutes of cutting this guy out. You know? And I'm thinking to myself, and I start cutting, and I'm like, wait a second. With +8 strength, I rip you free.
Because like Iman gave you, and then Joran gave you a strength of the bear.
You gave me a divine relic just before the mod. Yeah. And then Joran gave me a strength of the bear before I went in.
Yeah.
So it was like the perfect storm of me having 8 strength to pull this webbing out. So I'm just like, cool. And then he falls down and he goes, contingency life, and he starts like coughing and like waking up. And he's like he's like a captain from the Church of Light.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I was confused when people said the captain later when you go back and rescue a guy. So anyway, he's like coughing and sputtering and like trying to fucking, like get his words back. And while he's on the ground, I point my side spear at him. I'm like, give me the key or die. Like, I don't want to fight you right now. Just give me the key.
Yeah.
And he's like, yup. Like, there you go. I'll get the other 2 or whatever, And like, I took it and I pocketed it.
And the funny thing was that as soon as he got up and buggered off from you,
he got fucking...
He ran past Juder, and Juder locked target and just demoed him.
Nice.
Like, beat him into
That's
the
great.
corner.
That's good to hear. But so then I had the key and I just went, we have everything we need, let's go. And I just like left. And it took us maybe 2 minutes. But it was like getting everybody out of the spider cave is always really annoying because the spiders are like grabbing them or webbing them. Or
it's also really dangerous because you need strength to pull people out, but the spiders can also weaken people. Yeah. So like it's an attrition. The spiders do win over time.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose against spiders. But so I got out and like everything was fine, and then they're like, And then they're like, oh, the captain's like stuck. And I'm like,
Yeah.
the fucking captain? I don't care.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, the guy who helped us. I'm like, fuck. And I turn to Graham's fire elf.
Yeah.
I give him the key and I go, hold on to this. I'm taking it back.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, of course. You know, and I give it to him and I like go back in with my scythe spear and shield. And I'm like, all right, where's these fucking guys? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, this guy, +8 strength, I rip you free and throw you that way.
Yeah.
You know, like, +8 strength, I rip you free, throw you that way, kind of thing.
Yeah. And then
Like,
there's
Lur's fighting and he won't back out, so I just grab him and pull him back.
I also did that to
Yeah.
Lure. And I think there was like Havoc, like York, like was also stuck there.
I had to go all the way back in to get
Oh
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Afterwards, he came to him on. It's like those. I gave you some resources for like future favorite. We're fair. We're
We're
done. We're square.
Yeah, because I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But we saved him.
Yeah.
Nobody died, and we made it out, and I got the key. I
Yeah.
have the key.
Well, and also as part of that, like, so Imon was doing Rite of War to like help people out, because like in theory, like one of the shaman abilities. So shaman as in like the mechanical vocational shaman, not shaman
Not
of
shaman
the
like my title.
Yeah. Is that if someone is like, so Hope as part of that can send people who are bleeding back to Imon.
Yeah.
So if someone got stuck in a spider web, Hope could like beat them unconscious
And then send
them back. So that was the plan. But also while I'm doing this, I have a whole bunch of just like resists that I can use. So I just kind of like wandered around, skirted around to go back to like where the like spider was at the back, and I kind of just like looked around. It's like, so like Erin came through here. I'm gonna pick up something nice for her. Okay, here's a sword that the captain was holding. This is nice. It's just like the NPC's phys rep. I amble out, like I'm also like helping people out, so I'm carrying this. And then at the end of the mod, I went to the Shapers, like, can I like just get like a random tag for this? I just want a tag that for this. He writes out one. Like,
I got a rusty captain's sword.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
nice gift.
yeah. So Erin has the key before her, and Imon just like half wolf mode skirts up and says like, I got this. It's yours.
Here you go. Trophy for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Also, the guy that I rescued, the Drew's NPC,
Oh yeah.
talked to me after, and he was like, I recognize that you saved, like, I owe you my life, basically. And I was like, and I appreciate people who pay their debts. And then
Yeah.
I, like, you know, like,
Oh
well,
yeah.
so that was, like, an understanding that we had. So that's cool. Maybe that'll come up again. But having the key, I was like, okay, cool. Got the key, put it somewhere safe,
Yeah.
make sure it's good. It's one of 3 keys, so
Yeah.
it's not everything that we need, but it is something that
Yeah.
we need. It is a nice key fizz rep. It's like real weighty.
It's a nice casted
real
key.
nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Real good. My joke was that we should submit that last mod run to Speedrun Archives because they expected us to slog through a last mod, and I just fucking
Yeah.
like speed run to the objective, rip
Yeah.
it free, got it, and got the fuck
Well,
out.
there's also like Joran who was like in spider totem form at
Yeah.
the same time. So like
Yeah,
the
we were
spiders
both like
like
undetected.
yeah.
I've never ever seen a spider cave mod go that quickly.
Yep.
Like, not once.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was mostly due to your guys' distraction. I could not have done that if the spiders had all been, like, passively watching me.
Yeah.
Because if I'd ripped something free, they'd have been like, the fuck? You know, like, why are you breaking our webs?
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking our food?
Yeah.
You stealing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan was like, if you'd been bringing stuff into the cave, I think the spiders would have been like, yeah, sweet. But it, like, you taking it out, like, I feel like there's a little bit of, like, a conflict with the charm there. It's like a hostile action.
Yeah.
You know? I totally agree with you, but you were all distracted, so,
Yeah.
you know, like, is basically what I said. Because, like, last time we had a spider cave mod, that's what happened. I was trying to, like, take the chemistry components
Yeah.
from the webs, and every time I touched the cocooned guys, the spiders would be like, don't touch. You know?
Mine.
Yeah. So.
Don't.
No. But yeah, so we did that, and then it was end of game.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, duel.
So my duel with Luna, which was amazing because, so
Luna's a Gen Lupus wild elf, by the way.
So fun fact, the last time I came to Redberry, pretty sure it was Redberry. Yes, it was Redberry. Luna was not Lupus. Luna was Kraken, and that was, I think, their first event or in their
I don't
first series of
remember,
events. But I sparred with them and I taught them how to fight stuff. So, and it was really fun because I haven't seen them since that event.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back this event, and she's just like, I want to spar with you again. And I'm just like, okay. And then when we heard games call, it's like, yeah, let's just go full ham because we can burn resources now. That fight was hard. Oh my god.
I didn't see that one. It was
really cool. So Luna was like wielding a medium sword in one hand, and she was holding a great sword, like blade, and just using it as a blocking baton. And it was like a gigantic blocking baton, and she was like fighting with the other hand. So she basically had a shield that was a sword.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was kind of like it was
similar to the one with Kieran.
Yeah, the thing is with Luna was that they had one trick, and once I learned it, it was very easy to map it and block it. And then they burn slot 31 magic body into me, and I was like, ah!
Ow.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, okay, this is gonna happen.
And then there's like you call breach, draw, and then dropped your other weapon, and I was like, oh, now it's on.
And as soon as it happened, I pre-defared the medium sword out and used that as my blocker because it's much longer than mine.
Yeah.
And then she went to like dual wield with her greatsword.
And then I'm just like, no, I know this trick. And then what was it? Just at that point, just beat her down. But she got me to 7 body.
Yeah.
Both of the duels that I had were super close.
Nobody challenged me to a duel. I felt left out.
That's also because Aaron was like, this is beneath me also, when some people postured to challenge you.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I wanted to summon a shield in my side weapon and just like beat someone to death with it.
I mean, yeah. There was an NPC who came out who was like looking for duels on while you were sleeping.
That was Ryan.
Yeah, it was Ryan with like 2 swords being like, does anyone want a duel on a weaponless man? I mean, as long as we promise not to use debilitating effects, because then I would just win.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and he's a high elf, and Iman's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm into this, and like, also I'm like, I want a duel Ryan.
Kieran won like 3 duels with the headbutt garrote trick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, headbutt garrote worked on like four people.
I think he said that he lost to me, and I think did Rualo beat him? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think of the 2 it was...
Yeah, and then the rest he won.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the game. That was the game. Fun. My overarching comments on the game are, it was a good game, but I was stressed the fuck out for the first half of it, and then after Saturday night, I was like, oh god, maybe I can actually play the next game. Like, was my feeling, because I've been very nervous about LARP recently, just as Aaron, it's been stressful. But the game was good. The game ran well, and when I went to plot with any kind of concern, they were very seriously like attentive of it.
And
which
this was
is
their
great.
first event with the new team.
Yeah, this was the first.
It went super well.
Yeah,
like I loved it, and the way that they ran everything was like, it was amazing.
What I'm really excited about is that the Vespin as a faction have a plot running now. Like, we actually have quote unquote camp plot. Yeah. But it's not really that. You know what I mean? Like,
plot.
We all have like a thing that we all care about equally.
It's like we have a faction that we're tied to. I guess, because before we were like, okay, well, we're not exiles anymore, but let's not push our luck.
Yeah, we don't want to ask them for anything.
Yeah. But now it's like, oh no, you backed us in this meeting, and we're doing this all.
Listen,
as part.
All I'm saying is next game I'm bringing like War General Aaron. Okay. It's like, I'm ready. Let's go. I want to kill some jackal. So that's my assessment. I don't know if you guys have like different feelings on that.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I've seen with the trips that I make out is that all the plot that you guys are involved in seems to be centered around one person, but everyone evolves because we all want to help each
We
other.
want to help, yeah.
Having major faction plot like this is so cool.
It's pretty
to see.
sick, yeah.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait to come back.
So one comment I definitely will make is that I said the words, whoever name, how can I help you? More times this game than I have any other game, and it feels like a great starter for a deal. You know what I mean? Like, you've come to me, and let's talk about what I can do for you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's nice. How about you? Anything?
I felt like the pacing this game was really well done and well thought out, which was really great. Seeing a new team work so well together is like really exciting and like hype building because it's like, yeah, if this is the start,
Oh man.
what's like kind of like what's coming next?
What do we got next?
Archer is great, and I'm really happy to see him like in like a position of like lead shaper, which is a new position. Kind of like
This season's the first season. There's been a lead shaper that
Yeah.
wasn't like Tammy or Wes doing game master stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like really excited to see like what happens, and like he's got Corey as like an assistant
Secondary
lead.
lead,
Yeah. So
Both
they're
of
like
them did a great job.
two of them at the helm kind of thing, and it's like
Very encouraging. Not that it needed encouragement, but for
no.
me, I was thinking when I went into this game, I was thinking maybe this winter I'll take a break.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that I feel that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'll depend. I got another month off because December there's no Zenithstrand game. But still, you know, I think that's pretty good. So let's cut the VOD there,
Okay.
and then we can talk to chat. So VOD, thank you for joining us, video people, and I will see you later.